Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is having a very, very wonderful day. David, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, what's up?
Good, good, good. Uh, yeah, yes. Having a wonderful, fantastic day. As far as I can tell, it's a fantastic day, man. It's Easter Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. How's your Easter Sunday going, David?
Good. Had to go to church when I'm normally sleeping, but yep, cool service. Then went to sleep. On very little sleep now because I stayed up to go to church. So
That's very, very funny. When I went into Orthodoxy, right? When I went into going to the Orthodox Church, I didn't know that that a service in the Orthodox Church was going to be like take very, very long. So
you gotta convert to something
instead
else.
of this morning, instead of like going today, like we went, of course. So last night at midnight, we went over to the church, and then so we arrived at like 11:30 or something, and the service lasted like, I don't know, like more than 2 hours. And by the time we were heading home, it was like 3 at night or something like that. And I thought, wait a minute, this is not why I went to the church. I wanted the easy way out or something. So I don't know. I'm kind of I am reconsidering my decisions right now.
Yeah, you can find a church that's kind of like the McDonald's of churches. You know what I mean? It's like get in there and bolt right out, back out.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. No, seriously, when I went to church for the first time, it was like, yeah, I think it was 3 hours or some more. I don't know. I've spent these last. It's kind of strange because for the longest time, for many years now, I've had this attitude of just doing whatever I want and not being able to, sit still somewhere and have to do something and all that. Things are really changing right now because, like, this week, Holy Week, these last few days especially, I went to church. I think on Friday, I went to church like twice in one day. Attended two services that were like both very long, and I didn't even feel bored. I didn't even feel the need to get up and walk away. Went again on Saturday to a very, very long one, and it felt very, very good. I loved it. So I guess things are a little bit different when you put a little bit of flavor into it, into your thinking, instead of going, "Oh, just do whatever I want, man." Then you don't want to do anything else.
Yep. Been there.
It is weird because at some point, there was a point where I was wondering how someone like you, could, for example, spend extended amounts of time sitting in environments, without doing anything that you want to do. But I guess with an atheistic mindset, it's very hard to understand. When you then change your life a little bit, things quite change, and everything suddenly seems very doable and all right. So, yeah, everything is cool, man. Everything is wonderful. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with where I am. Some people are not very happy about the fact that I am very happy.
Yeah. Well, we're thinking of the same person, I think. I think I'll be making a video about this later this week just to because he's making it so easy right now.
Some people are not happy that I'm happy. So weird, man. So weird. So we're talking about Matt Dillahunty here, of course. I want to start out with this. So I made a post the other day, which was simply this here, which was simply nothing except this. It said, "Life is better this way." So I posted a photo from the church that I go to. I took this on Friday, and it's decorated and prepared for for Easter and all that.
Hold on. I just glanced over at the side. It's the Beverly Jubilees comedy Easter special. The Beverly Jubilees comedy Easter special. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay. Didn't mean to interrupt, but that was funny.
So I posted this, And I just said, life is better this way. And, you know, when I post stuff like this, I'm not meaning to tell people, hey,
Hey,
church, how dare
yo,
you?
atheist, I'm coming to subjugate you.
You're sick. You're sick. You're sick.
You'll be humiliated.
I mean, all I do is, and we use the channels that we have, no matter what they were built for and what we made them for, to express our place in life and express our state of mind and how we feel right now, right? And I feel very happy at the moment, so I post this online and say, life is better this way. That's all.
Yeah, pause. So think about this. From an atheistic perspective,
Yes.
where, you know, if someone dies believing in Jesus, or someone dies believing in Allah, or someone dies believing in nothing, then it kind of doesn't matter a whole lot, unless it's somehow massively affecting your life. If other people's beliefs are affecting your life in some negative way, then you can say, hey, this is something that's messed up. Apart from that, from a truly atheistic perspective, this tweet should be somewhere along the lines of, I like Rocky Road ice cream the best. It's what makes me happiest. Something along the lines of that. And other people think different things. And, you know, it's kind of a matter of taste preference or something like that. But not something to get terribly worked up over if you disagree. And yet, people will lose their minds.
I want to quickly actually refocus this whole thing just about this because it's funny. So this is what I post. Life is better this way. Somebody doesn't like it. And the thing is, I personally don't have any problem with Matt Dillahunty. Never did. I always did think that he was a little bit over the top and he was a little bit, you know, a little bit much in how he responds to people. I also made that quite clear when I was when I co-hosted Atheist Experience with him twice or 3 times, maybe I don't even remember. I would kind of cut him off sometimes when he would go too hardcore into you know, I don't know. We were talking to some woman who was like feeling very upset and found some hope in belief in God, and he was like just attacking her for that and mocking her, and I was like, oh, whoa, hold up. So he has a messed up side, but he also can be very, very nice and upstanding and can be very good on a personal level. But since I started making my my conversion to Christianity now, and he has been a little bit problematic about it. And he said in response to me just posting this, prove it and prove that the claims are true. Until then, your faith-based performance like Ayan's is just trading one convenient master for another.
Right. All you said is, what'd you say? This is better, or life is better like this, or something?
Life is better this
life
way.
is better this way. Prove that it's better. Well, keep in mind, what would your claim be based on? It would just be based on your experience, right? Like, hey,
Where's the proof?
Like, hey, I've lived like this and I've lived like that, and life is better this way. Prove it.
Prove that it's true.
It's funny because Matt, you're kind of proving it for him, because if the alternative is being a sniveling little crybaby who's obsessed with whining about stuff that should make absolutely no difference to you because it's all meaningless, well,
apparently, when people responded to him, he's pointing out, no, so you're strawmanning me. Well, I mean, you didn't really make it very obvious, because all I posted is life is better this way with the church.
That's like,
prove it.
Yeah, that's like you wake up and you post, I love my wife.
Prove it. Prove it. I'm a skeptic. You can't prove that to me.
I love my wife. No, obviously, I meant that your wife is real. Okay, you should have probably made that clear. So he posted this, and I really liked that Amy Alkin, who is herself an atheist, actually came in and said, oh, come on, I'm an atheist, and I used to be an a-hole atheist, especially in my 20s, but I took a look at myself and removed the a-hole portion of that. I don't have to believe as others to be happy that they get comfort, community, and other things that work for them out of their religion. It's small and ugly to go around rising up below some post where someone has expressed some joy or satisfaction about their religion.
There will be no joy or satisfaction allowed for Matt
and demean them. You perhaps tell yourself you're doing something meaningful. You're not. No one is persuaded by the approach you took. In fact, I can imagine that people who are religious would be so off-put by this ugly behavior that they would find the notion of even considering whether there's something to the atheist viewpoint extremely distasteful. Heck of a job, Brownie. So that's what she posted. And
yeah, and by the way, again, and we've talked about this in the past, she's absolutely correct from an atheistic perspective. See, guys, for everyone who's watching, there are certain belief systems where it makes sense for people who have adopted that belief to want everyone to agree with them, right? It makes sense for Muslims to want to give dawah and make everyone agree with them, or even to subjugate them, because that's part of their ideology. It's commanded to them and so on. For Christians, it makes sense for Christians to want to preach the gospel to all people, right? In other words, these are matters of eternal significance in certain, according to certain ideologies. For atheism, it doesn't matter. Like what is the point? Okay, let me ask you. Suppose you spend your entire life, every moment, as an atheist, and then you die. What do you win? What do you win for being right your entire life? I didn't adopt a wrong position my entire life. It's kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. So what does make sense is viewing different ideologies from a sort of practical or pragmatic basis. What tends to contribute to human flourishing and what doesn't? What suffocates human flourishing? And I'll just give you an example of this, right? So atheists, so the Pew Research poll that came out years ago that said that Islam is the fastest growing religion, it said why? It said because Muslims have the highest birth rates. Atheists have the lowest birth rates. Atheists are in the absolute lowest birth rate category. So just think from a practical, pragmatic perspective, if you're just looking at this scientifically, atheists, you would say, okay, the more people become atheists, the lower their birth rates drop. The lower the birth rates drop, the more people their country needs to bring in, because they're not even replacing the people who are dying. And so you have to bring in more people. Where do you get those people? You get those people from Muslim nations who are going to subjugate you. So it doesn't make sense to be obsessed with everyone becoming atheist, everyone's birth rates plummeting, and bringing in your government bringing in tons of Muslims to subjugate you. No, that would be stupid, wouldn't it? So why would you be so obsessed with, hey, all these Christians and all these other people, they all need to become atheists? Like, that's what I mean. Makes no sense. And yet, and so anyway, going along with what Amy is saying here, her position actually makes sense. If you were to take atheism true, you shouldn't care a whole lot about everyone agreeing with you. You should care way more about how it affects you in the world and whether it's having a good impact on you. That's what you should care about. And so I have to say, when you have the angry, hostile atheists, and
I don't care if it makes you happy. I don't care if it makes society better. I don't care in what ways it contributes to human flourishing. And I don't care if my own view will ultimately destroy everyone, even me, by getting us all subjugated. Yeah, I have to declare war on you becoming a Christian anyway.
It almost sounds like you're in a spiritual battle against God, and you just really, really, really hate Jesus. That's what it sounds like, Matt. It sounds like you just hate Jesus. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like Amy does. It doesn't sound like other sort of calm atheists do.
Honestly, I wasn't following Amy before this, but just before that, I started following her. So I'm not sure what she does. I saw that she gave a TED talk somewhere about speech or something, but just because of that, I decided to follow her. I don't care. So you're saying the atheist is right here. Good. Vin says I really am.
Atheist is right about everything. Sorry.
Vin says I really am the smartest, and I agreed. It doesn't win you any points. See, even the smartest person agrees with us. Powerful. So and then they started fighting, which was kind of funny. I said thank you, Amy, and he comes in. Hi, clueless atheist. I'm talking to someone I know who has been on my shows. They previously pretended to skepticism and have tossed that aside for faith. We are both professional speakers and debaters talking on a public forum. You didn't give up the smug a-hole. And she said, you're a nasty piece of work who rose upon seeing a Christian's just pre-Easter post to sneer at his faith. Calling me smug doesn't make me so. In fact, it is the essence of unsmug that I said I acted like an a-hole, but reflected on that and changed my ways. Your problem, actually, is that I am anything but clueless. And instead of responding civilly, you attack with nasty words, small and ugly, again.
I have to say, there's something else that's smart about Amy, and I have to say, lots of other internet atheists who 10 or 15 years ago were significantly more angry and hostile and so on, and have sort of mellowed out over the years. Part of that has been that, you know, if you go back 20, 25 years, the thrust of the new atheism was, hey, if we just get rid of religion, if we just get rid of Christianity and so on, if we get millions of people to become atheists, society will become better. Okay, well, if you believed that, then it actually makes sense to go out and try to get millions of people to become atheists. It made sense to be aggressive. You've got a prediction. You're making a prediction. The world is going to become a better place if we get tons of people to become atheists. Well, guess what? We've had over 20 years of this. Millions of people did become atheists. In what way has society or the world or has anything become better? I haven't seen anything that indicates that any of this or any of these predictions came true. So what you have is the people who are becoming less aggressive are the ones who are actually paying attention to, like, the data. The data has come in. Adopting atheism on a large scale does not make society better. Therefore, should you be as aggressive in putting it out there? No, it doesn't make the world a better place. In fact, it hurts the world in various ways. So for people now to say, hey, you know, I was a jerk 15 years ago. I'm not going to be like that anymore because I don't have that belief that me somehow convincing tons of people to become atheists is going to make the world more scientific and more rational and so on.
Beast.
But Matt Dillahunty, in other words, Matt Dillahunty, apart from seeming like he just hates Jesus and all things related to Jesus, and so it looks like a spiritual battle for him, apart from that, he doesn't seem to care where the evidence points, because the evidence says that all the predictions of the new atheists are wrong. The evidence is in. None of their predictions came true. What's that mean? Drop the way you're doing things. Change it. You're being very unscientific.
Very, 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 very bad. Very bad, man. Black Angel said AP's hobby is to cause fights on X. This is true. This is now the 60th fight that I caused this week.
That's like the Apostle Paul, man. When he went in front of we brought it up before, when he went in front of the Pharisees and the Sadducees didn't believe in the resurrection, but the Pharisees did. And he says, hey, I'm just being brought in here because I believe in the resurrection. And then they all start arguing with each other. But that's like AP. Hey, look, life is better.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? So let's say AP stands for aorta poisoner, the great divider of men. Mother Queen, when AP is still atheist, you're a closet Christian. When AP becomes a Christian, prove it. The funny thing is that I got lots of responses from people. I asked him, I am a Christian now, Matt. This is, by the way, the first time that I referred to myself as a Christian, but I thought...
I noticed that. I was like, I thought he wasn't referring to himself as a Christian.
I thought it's time, bro. Like, it's time. I feel
hang on. When is this? This is April 19th. So that is yesterday.
Yes.
Okay, so that is yesterday.
Yes.
When are you debating? When are you debating, Andrew?
Wilson?
Yeah. No, Andrew Martin. No, Andrew...
Tate.
I was thinking Andrew Jackson, but that wouldn't make any funny. Doesn't make any sense.
In 8 days, actually.
Hey, that would be a good point to bring out in the debate. It's like, okay,
I've only been Christian for 8 days.
Man. Yeah, I've been a Christian for 8 days, and he wanted to debate me on what Christians are supposed to believe. So I don't know. Kind of looks like, guys, that if I hold my own at all, that this should be a massive embarrassment for him.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to bully the new ones here, and this
always
is not
trying
a good
to
look.
bully the new Christians.
Not a good look. Not a good look at all. Yeah. Oh yeah, here we have a wonderful patient here that I'm starring some comments here that I see because I think they're wonderful. I'm a Christian now, Matt. My life is better this way. I am better. Why does this bother you? He then responded to it, because you pretended to be a skeptic and then adopted a faith-based position that you do not defend, yet publicly support as if is true. You choose comfort over truth. You misrepresented yourself to those of us who promote. Is that really what this is about? I didn't even read that far.
It says those of is.
Those of us who promote.
No,
Wait a
those
minute.
of is.
Wait. His problem here is that I misrepresented myself as a skeptic to those like him who promoted me. He wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what he's taking credit for, but my interactions with Matt Dillahunty only came into play like very, very recently.
You became popular for making brutal videos, making fun of Islam and exposing Islam. That's why you became popular. It wasn't because of Matt Dillahunty gave you the thumbs up and then you took off. What sort of fantasy land does this guy live in?
I think I'm going to be fair here.
Hang on. Aren't you more popular than this guy? Just to be clear, I'm trying to think.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
You've got to be more popular. Click on his channel real quick. I
have more followers, but that's
click on but when people have 100,000, that doesn't mean that 100,000 people are actually looking at their tweets.
Patreon. Huh.
Go past his pinned thing.
I'm not sure if I'm more popular than this guy. I mean, this guy's more known outside the in the mainstream.
Probably more known, but I'm talking about like who gets more. Who are people paying more attention to now? I don't hear much about Matt Dillahunty anymore. I'm saying just scroll down a little bit, man. Scroll down. I just want to see how many. That's his pinned one. Okay, so
4 days ago, 29,000 views. Yeah.
29,000. Weirdo talking. First of all, it's talking about his tweets, man. His tweets.
Oh yeah. Okay, his tweets.
Okay, what? Okay, 18 likes, 11 likes. So he's not big on Twitter. 25 likes. You get thousands. So he's not big on Twitter. So the question is, you're saying he's doing awesome on YouTube with 29,000? What's his YouTube channel? Is it just called Matt Dillahunty, or is it called like?
It's called The Line. This is where he is.
The Line? What happened to the Atheist Experience?
He left the Atheist Experience because the Atheist Experience, I think I don't want to misrepresent him or what happened, but there was a scandal or something involving a trans person or something, and the Atheist Experience refused to condemn some bigotry or something that happened there, and he said, if you don't do that, then I'm leaving. And then I don't know, something about they weren't extreme enough for him, so he left Atheist Experience or something like that. It's pretty messed up.
All right, so I'm looking at the numbers on their videos: 10,000 from a day ago, 16,000 from a day ago, 7,000 from 2 days ago. Oh, they got different. It's not just him; they got a bunch of different people. 24,000, 71,000 from 8 days ago, then 32, 46, 49, and so on. So those are okay numbers, but I have to say you're more popular than this guy.
I don't know. But my issue is rather that I want to be fair and pointed out when somebody actually contributed to something, or when somebody was like out there promoting me or anything like that. Like, this guy played no role at all in where
by the way, guys, that's all I was pointing out. I wasn't AP gets more views on a video or something. Nothing like that. That wasn't the point.
Like, I can point out that like there are atheists that did contribute to promoting me early on, for example, and I can't think of some, like, for example, what's the other guy's name? I forgot his name, but Seth something. What was it? What's this guy? I forgot his name. The Thinking Atheist. Yeah,
you got to be the Thinking Atheist.
He promoted me early on, for example. Armin Navabi, always thankful. He was always there collaborating with me early on, and so on. So, but Matt Dillahunty, until recently, I never even did anything with him. Like, but by the time that I did something with him, I already had like an audience that was large enough and all that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So again, I'm not saying
he played no role in this at all. He's acting as if he played a role in this, but he played
no role. That's what I mean. Yeah. So that's delusional. Prove it, Matt Dillahunty. Prove that AP owes his popularity to you. That's AP's more popular. AP is definitely about 1 trillion times more likable to everyone than you. So what sort of delusional fairy dust land do you live in that you think?
But I don't look as beautiful as him. Look at this.
I voted.
Wow. David, from your personal interactions with me, would you say that I pretended to be a skeptic, or that I was and pretty much am a skeptic?
You were, and you don't seem to have changed. In fact, I can say that your skepticism played a role in your conversion, because you're basically the one who's going, okay, I was doing this and it doesn't work, and it doesn't. There are problems with this position over here. We had discussions. We went through the cosmological argument, the fine-tuning argument, the moral argument. We went through these. We went through tons of videos and stuff where you're responding to this stuff. And
if I wasn't a skeptic, I would have probably converted to Christianity like many years ago or something.
Yeah, and my point is that what a lot of what you find, as far as from people like Matt Dillahunty, is they're taking dogmatic atheism and just calling it skepticism. That's not what skepticism is, right? In other words, skepticism, if someone says, hey, look, the universe really looks like it's designed for a purpose, and you say, therefore, it's arranged by a purpose and God created it. Skepticism would mean, okay, we have to really look into all the possibilities and see where the evidence points. And, you know, it's a big leap to say that there's some sky daddy out there, and so we have to be skeptical. But guess what? When an atheist or a naturalist responds and says, oh, this could just happen by luck, a real skeptic should be skeptical of that too, and say, does chance really account for this? Is this really the best approach to take? A real skeptic should be skeptical not just of supernatural claims, but of naturalistic claims that really don't have a lot of support behind them. But yeah, so a lot of the Matt Dillahunty crowd, they seem to have just taken dogmatic atheism. We're the only ones who are right. Everyone else is dumb. And let's call that skepticism. Oh, you don't subscribe to this anymore? Then you're not a real skeptic.
Look at this.
You're a fraud.
Look at this. What does this remind you of? I always suspected he was never truly an atheist.
He didn't leave atheism. Atheism left him.
You were a fake atheist. You were just pretending. Recite Surah.
By the way, isn't it amazing that these are the same guys? If you ask them to defend their own position or give an argument for their own position, they'll instantly go, atheism is just lack of belief, man. It's just a lack. It's nothing else. There's no positive content to it. It's just a lack. So we have nothing to defend. And then as soon as you say, hey, I no longer lack belief. I went from lacking belief to not lacking belief. Hey, you were never lacked belief. What are you saying? Are you saying that no one can ever change a position? These are the same guys who, I was a Christian and I grew up in church and I believed in this stuff and then I left it. You see, it's like, wait, so you can change positions. You can believe something and then not believe in it. Or you can not believe in something and then believe in it, right? Yes, yes, as long as it's us. But as soon as
what is Fareed doing in this discussion?
Wait,
Fareed entered this discussion said, ever seen an atheist speak about Christianity like this? Clip is from 2018.
Oh, so this is Fareed. He wasn't really an atheist. He was a closet Christian.
Let me see what I said back then.
Although I don't have a problem with Judaism and I don't have a problem with Christianity at all. I find Christianity beautiful. And I even told my wife recently, I wish it was true. Recently, quite a person.
What did I tell her?
You wish it was true.
I wish it was true. So excuse me. What did I tell her? I wish it was true. Meaning my position there is it's not true. So in 2018, my position about Christianity is it is not true, and I wish it was true. How is it supposed to show that I wasn't an atheist?
Yeah, because I guess according to Fareed, if you're really an atheist and you lack belief, you should just say, no, it's the evilest thing in the world and it must be destroyed and subjugated.
So
but what's he pointing out? You've always been hey, I don't care a whole lot about what people believe. And some beliefs, it's actually, I'm fine with them having it because it's actually, it actually helps them and so on. So I'm totally fine with that. What I'm not fine with is trying to kill me over stuff. That's kind of always been your position. So I don't know what he, and by the way, as far as I wish it were true, Paul Draper, who I did my doctoral dissertation in response to his argument from evil, but he would say things like he doesn't believe in God, but he wishes it were true. He wishes there were someone looking out for things and so on. So I guess he's not a real atheist or agnostic or anything. Anyway, this is wild stuff.
I did sound like a little yeah. AP was so cute and gay back then, says Black Angel. Very, very rude.
The moment I sat down with my wife and was just kidding about specific things and started reading verses from the New Testament, and I thought, this really is nice. This really is good. This is beautiful.
I sounded like a child back then, man. I learned English in the meantime. But this is the funny thing. Farid comes into this discussion. Look, here he says that he doesn't believe in Christianity and he wishes it was true. How could an atheist say something like that? so retarded. So dumb, man. It is so ridiculous.
It's also weird that you saying positive things about, hey, there's some good verses here. No, you can't say that as an atheist. Like, why? Why can't you say, as an atheist, do unto others as you would have them do unto you is good? That's something good. I like that. I approve of that. Yeah, it's weird because when we're talking about like Muhammad and so on, and I'll point out, hey, Muhammad condemned female infanticide. Good. I like that. Please do that. Please condemn that practice. But why? Because it's an evil practice, and I don't care who you are. I hope you condemn that practice. So according to Farid, what does that mean? I'm an undercover Muslim because I can say something positive about something Muhammad said? This is weird stuff. Anyway, Farid is exposed. Farid is the Matt Dillahunty of Muslims.
Yeah, Farid did block me way back in the day. Before that, he was very friendly and was chatting with me while publicly debunking me. He was like being buddy with me and all that. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And then eventually he blocked me because he said he gets upset whenever he sees a post by me or something.
Oh, that's funny. That makes sense though. Like, yeah, because it's weird because I kind of like Farid. Oh, yeah. How could a Christian say this? He must be an undercover Muslim.
It is very, very funny.
They pulled out the No True Scotsman. It's funny.
Because you pretended to be a skeptic. I said, what do you mean pretended? I was a skeptic, and to a great deal very much am. People who have watched me know that I've engaged with Christians respectfully, but with strong disagreements for many years. I don't tell people they should convert. Why do you come at me? And this is my whole point here. I never look, I have talked about Islam for years. I never went up to Muslims on their pages and said, you believe in stupid nonsense. Why would you believe in that? How dare you? What is your proof? Prove it. When people made public videos advocating for Islam, I did respond to them, right? When people made posts advocating for Islam, I did respond to those. I never went to people and acted like, how dare you? Why would you believe in this? Why would you not believe in that? Prove to me that this is true. Prove to me that this is not true. I never engaged in this behavior. I didn't do this to atheists. I didn't do this to Christians. I didn't do it even to Muslims. It's kind of weird that people come to me and just because I express my own feelings, I say it right here, and also my beliefs, people come at me and they're like, oh, why would you do this? How dare you? How dare you? And he even challenges me to a debate and says I would never debate him. He's acting like Muhammad Hijab. It's so weird. He is acting like Muhammad Hijab.
I challenge you to Mubahala. Mubahala. We will ask Chance to curse the liar.
Matt Dillahunty, I hereby challenge you to a Mubahala and a cage fight at the same time. And also, while we're doing a cage fight and a Mubahala, we can also debate.
Yeah.
If you don't accept it, you're a coward.
You're a coward and a liar and not a real atheist. Any true atheist would do it.
Accept my Mubahala challenge. Come on. How dare you? So This is what Matt Dillahunty does about this topic. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Oh yeah, here. I'm live at 2 p.m. Central. You know, we're happy to give you time to defend your beliefs publicly today. Why? Why?
And he's
Why
saying
would
on,
I?
on
Why do I
Easter?
have to? Why do I have to? Why would I want to defend my beliefs? I'm not interested in going out and preaching my beliefs. I'm not interested in convincing you. Why do you? Oh, so you believe something? How about you come here and defend your beliefs?
I am the belief police, and everything must come through me. I am the judge of what you must believe.
Who does this clown think he is? Seriously, Matt.
Is your position faith-based or evidence-based? Because it's based. That's it, man. It's based. Because only one of those is consistent with skepticism. I have no problem with you being a Christian. It wasn't remotely surprising. Some of us had suspected it privately for ages. But you clearly never understood skepticism. Well, look, I have to point something out here. He's actually partially right here. He's actually partly right. I'm going to give him that. He's actually partly right. I was a hardcore skeptic and a hardcore atheist for the longest time, and that actually changed. He's partly right. So when he says that my newfound faith is not consistent with my skepticism, he's not entirely wrong. But the thing is, I also pointed this out very, very recently. I pointed this out in my first video where I talked about how I went to church. I pointed this out in the first instances where I talked about changing my beliefs and so on. I pointed this out quite often. In fact, I pointed it out even in a private conversation, David, to you weeks ago or months ago. I don't know when that was. Remember when we were live after we were done with the live? I told you that that I'm kind of struggling with the whole issue of for 10 years now, always going for being certain about something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is why I can't make a step. And then you talked to me about it, and so I was very adamant about my skepticism, and I acknowledged that is a thing, and I even later on acknowledged that I changed this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that conversation, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it was this was behind the scenes after we were live, and he was talking about he just has like this obsession with not, he has to be certain, and he's just not certain of any of these things. And we talked about a couple of things, and I gave a couple of examples. I said, think about marriage, right? Think about marriage. Suppose a guy wants to get married, and here's a woman he could get married to. But how much does he actually know about this woman? Suppose he's known her for 6 months. Okay, how much does he know about her? He knows some. He knows some things. He's learned some things about her. Does he want to get married to her? Well, guess what? There's all kinds of things about her that he still doesn't know. She might turn out to be his ultimate nightmare. He doesn't know. He's only known her for 6 months. Well, suppose he's sort of skeptical. I don't want to rush into a relationship because I could be wrong, right? Skeptic. I could be wrong about this. She could be the wrong one for me. And then, so suppose he knows her for 2 years and she seems like the right one, but guess what? Does he know everything about her? No. Could she change if they get married? Yes. So what's he do? I need to know her. I need more information. Suppose he spends his entire life. Ha ha! I've spent my entire life and I have never married the wrong person.
Oh, I see.
Right. You never married anyone. You never married the right person either. You never experienced marriage. Right. So anyway, guys, this is an example of the skeptic is what the skeptic is saying. The skeptic can even say, hey, yeah, there's evidence that points there, something like that. But I'm skeptical. So unless I really, really know, I'm not going to believe that sort of thing. You could apply that exact same reasoning to other things like marriage. I don't know everything about this person. Therefore, I don't know if I might turn out to be wrong. Therefore, I will not commit. I will not enter into this relationship. Believing something is like entering into a relationship with it. It's an idea. That's like when it's like similar to another person. Then you say, all right, I actually believe this now. That's like marrying it almost. So anyway, if the real skeptic that like Matt Dillahunty is being is just be the sort of person who's always doubting everything. And I will never know enough about a person to actually say, I want to commit to this. And are you actually just really missing out on something important? That's the end result. Like, again, imagine a person spends his entire life and he's on his deathbed and he goes, let me tell you, I never married the wrong person because I was skeptical about what that person was going to be like. You see, I never did it. Right. What do you win? What do you win? You spent your entire life without entering into a relationship with someone. Congratulations. You win absolutely nothing. And you missed out on a really important part of life. So that's one thing. And the other thing I pointed out, I mentioned William James in his essay, The Will to Believe. And yeah. And at the end of that, he gives a quotation from some guy. I forget what the guy had, a weird name like James Fitzjames something or something like that. Anyway, so you get to the end of The Will to Believe. And this is an American philosopher, William James, who was interested in what people believed. But he gives this example that this other guy was using. The guy said, basically, imagine being on top of a mountain in a snowstorm. So you go hiking, you're up on a mountain, all of a sudden there's a snowstorm on the mountain. You're looking around, you don't know how to get down. You look over and you see what looks to be like it could be the way down, but you're not sure. What if it's this way? What if it's that way? What if I'm wrong? It looks like that's the way down the mountain.
Good point.
Good point. It looks like that's the way down the mountain, but I'm not sure. What do you do? What he said, what the guy said, what William James said is, well, yeah, you might try that way and it might be wrong. You might go off a cliff, but guess what? If you just stand there, you're dead. You just stand there, you're dead. You're going to get buried in snow. And so he pointed out, he said, you just got to go for it. You could be wrong, but you just got to go for it. And so anyway, that's what we talked about. But as AP was pointing out, yes, this was a discussion about AP saying, I'm just too skeptical to believe in this stuff. And then us saying, well, is it reasonable to always take the side of unbelief?
Yes. And so I acknowledged quite a while ago that I dropped some of my skepticism and decided to go into a new direction. And the direction that I went to is less about having 100% certainty about things, but more about simply not necessarily waiting to be 100% sure about something, but rather trying, or maybe just, if you want to call it, leaping, right? Walking into something that I that I see evidence for, and that I also really very, very much like. And I will say very, very honestly, I thought in the past I did consider this kind of like embarrassing or weak or bad to say. I now don't. I actually very happily will say it. My step toward Christianity is not necessarily fully motivated by knowing or believing that it is true. It is more so motivated by, of course, it has an aspect of believing that it is true. It has an aspect of believing in it, but there is also a great part of it which has to do with how I feel about with how I feel about it, how I feel with it, with how I feel about Jesus, how I feel that Jesus is an amazing figure. I had no trouble attaching myself to the figure of Jesus, to the concept of Jesus as my Lord, that I pray to, that I communicate with, that I think of, and I also had no problem at all being part of the Christian way, because I felt like it is really good. I like it. And to be very, very honest, coming from a purely atheistic, skeptic point of view, I thought to myself at some point, if I'm an atheist, if I'm a skeptic, and if, with all the honesty that I've had over the years, I've acknowledged to myself that there is no ultimate, meaning to everything, to anything. I acknowledged ages ago that there is no, ulterior meaning, that there is no ultimate meaning, there is no exterior meaning, there is no inherent meaning to anything. We simply exist in a universe, and we make up our own goals and our own purposes, and we live through it, we live by it, and we die, and we go away. what could possibly be so wrong in this system to go and be part of a system or of a religion, of a life, of a way that evidently is a very stable, a very good one, one that is full of peace, and one that brings lots of fulfillment, one that I can find a lot of fulfillment in. What's really so bad about it? What is really so bad about it? Well, what really motivated my step was acknowledging that, acknowledging also how good I feel about this, how I feel like this is it wouldn't be it wouldn't at all feel like a mistake for me to go into being religious, into going into Christianity. It's actually it's very sweet. It's very good. It's very pleasant. It is very fulfilling. I have now for the last for months now, I have spent my mornings waking up happy, with a feeling of serenity, with satisfaction. I actually spend my mornings now getting up and standing and praying for, I don't know, like 10-20 minutes or something, going by a prayer rule and going through with it meaningfully and devoting myself to it. And it makes me happy. I find fulfillment with it. I find happiness with it. I didn't come to it thinking, okay, I have analyzed and evaluated all the suggestions and all the findings and all the data, and I have concluded, based on a council of observers, that this must be the scientifically accurate path to proceed on.
And now,
No,
as the final step, it's the final step in deciding whether I should believe. I have to submit all of my ideas to Matt Dillahunty
yes. No, I
to
didn't do any
seek
of
his
that.
approval.
I didn't do any of that. I thought it's very plausible. It's very good. There's a lot of good reason to believe in this. There's a lot of good reason to go with this. There's a lot of good reason to consider it and to find truth in it. But there's also the more reason to find goodness and to find fulfillment and peace in it. And guess what? I am so happy. I am so at peace. I went to to meet for Easter today, and I know how people feel about it. I know what people see when they see my new state, because I feel it as well. I pointed this out to my wife earlier, maybe months ago or so, maybe last year, on the same occasion. I would feel a constant dread of nothingness. I would go to a family meeting. I would go to to hang out with the kids and their grandparents and all that, and sit down there. And I'm not even joking. This is not even an exaggeration. I would have a conversation with somebody. They ask me how I am, how I'm doing. I would say, "Oh yeah, everything is good, everything is okay," and then we talk about some random stuff. And in the middle of the conversation, my mind would seriously descend into a very dark place, which is why I always hated small talk, because when we do small talk, my mind would quickly, when the other person talks, as I'm listening, descend into how meaningless and awful everything is, and how it would be such a relief to just die and go away. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel happy. I feel joyful. I feel good. What is it? But what's the problem with this?
Prove to us that it's better to be happy. Is that weird?
Yes. Yeah, you say it's dark. It's darker to feel that every day. Yeah.
So continuing with my analogy, AP is like someone who's with a group of guys and they're all like, "We're never gonna get married because we're not gonna marry the wrong woman who might turn out to be mean or something like that. We're never gonna commit." And then one of them says, "You know what? hey, I met someone and I really like her and I'm going to get married to her. And Matt's like the guy going, no, you haven't proven to us that she is the correct one or that she's not going to change. And you're like, you know what? I'm getting married anyway. And like, you were never one of us. You were never one of us. And you're like, hey guys, I'm way happier now. Life is way better now that I'm married. Everything is great. I'm so happy. Prove it. Prove to us that things are better now. I don't know. It's just a weird obsession with something that, even according to their own worldview, is completely absurdly meaningless and pointless. You spend your entire life. Suppose you just spent your entire life and you were the ultimate skeptic. Suppose you never believed anything, not even like mathematics, because you're like, maybe I'm even wrong about that. I will never believe anything. Great. What do you win for all your skepticism? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Except other people were way happier than you. Great job.
There's so much I want to talk about, but I want to take a few super chats here. So Abu Baker Puff Daddy says he's risen indeed. He's risen. Alhamdulillah. Happy Easter. I want to talk a little bit about Easter or Pascha or Resurrection Day. I saw that some people were arguing earlier today about what it's called. So I decided to just make a post and just give it all three names and say Happy Easter, Happy Pascha, Happy Resurrection Day.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't know that's why you did it.
But what's wrong with you guys, man? Here, all three. Are you happy now? But anyway, want to talk a little bit about the experience of that. But the funny thing is, so when we went to the service last night, there was the very joyful occasion, of course, of the priest walking around and repeatedly saying Christ is risen, and people responding with He's risen indeed. And apparently, I'm not sure where he got this from, but he's a Greek guy, but he apparently can say it in all the different languages. I'm not sure how, but he was saying it in English, he was saying it in Greek, he was saying it in Church Slavonic, in Latin, in French, and waiting for responses in Arabic and so on. He knows that I speak German, so eventually he came to me and looks at me and says it in German. As Christus ist auferstanden. And I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that. And I then say, ist wahrhaftig auferstanden.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, ja, du hast recht.
He said, Christus ist auferstanden. And I said, he is auferstanden. Anyway, Mark H. AP, how was your first Easter as a Christian? Also, how many steps are there between Kate Chumun and Orthob Bro? He is risen. Thank you. I appreciate that. There are many steps. I think Orthob Bro comes before Catechumen, actually.
Hey, man, I saw some of those Orthob Bros, man. Now I see what you're complaining about.
Yeah.
I would just... like anything I say, it's like, oh, look, AP's a Christian. It like all of a sudden floods with then he needs to abandon Zionism and blah, blah, blah. Like, what the heck does any of that have to do with anything that's being said right now?
The funny thing is also, they always do this whole thing like, oh, he just became a Christian, now he's trying to turn us all Zionist. I literally never ever go around like telling the Orthodox Christians to be Zionists or anything. Like the only occasion ever so far where I will actually argue that Christians should support Zionism is the one debate that is upcoming with Andrew Wilson that happened because he wants to debate that topic with me. It's not something that I initiated.
He's like, so he said a while back, here's a guy who's not quite a Christian yet, but he will be like 8 days before the debate. So I will challenge him to a debate on what Christians are supposed to believe.
It's like they have to come to me. Like I say, hey, I go to church now and I'm happy. And then they come to me and they're like, oh, okay, good. Now do you realize that the Jews are evil? No. Why are you trying to make us Zionist? What's wrong with you? This is literally the attitude, man.
Yeah.
This is literally the attitude that they have.
And it's funny because one of the ones that came up yesterday was a guy said, great, now that he's in the Eastern Orthodox Church, he will have to abandon his Zionism. And I was like, really? Is he going to hear something in church that convinces him that he should be rooting for Hamas to destroy Israel? And they all go, no, that's a false dichotomy. You can reject both. And it's like, no, because basically Zionism right now is basically Israel has a right to exist and defend itself. That's kind of, if you say that, you're a Zionist.
Yeah.
So guess what? If you say, no, Zionism bad, then what you're saying is Israel has no right to exist and no right to defend itself. Well, okay, then they would have no right to defend themselves against Hamas. So you are rooting for Hamas. How are you not seeing this? Anyway, weird stuff.
Tis very, very strange. Tis very, very strange. I deal with it every day now. I deal with it every day, every hour of the day. It's very difficult. I try not to engage in it too much, but they're coming at me all the time. So sometimes you just got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And I try to remind people that Mr. Hilter here, Mr. Mustache Guy, he didn't like Christians. He didn't like Christianity. He was anti-Christianity. He was against Christianity. He hated Christianity, according to his dear friend Goebbels. Jews don't hate Jesus. I try to remind people of this stuff occasionally. There are some people who do this kind of stuff. I would say there is unfortunately a problem with there is a minority among some of the online Catholics, probably people who are not very much churchgoers, who are groypers and who want to be Nazis and anti-Jewish and all that. I don't think a single one of those ever went to a church or ever opened the Bible. There is also, unfortunately, such a representation among some of the Orthodox Christians online, and it is very often found among, and it's very ironic of me to say this, I don't want to say it, but it unfortunately is the case, it is very often found among Western, especially American converts to Eastern Orthodox who go online and who experience it online. Like you can't find this very much among just, regular Greek Orthodox people growing up in Greece or something, or in Greek culture and then practicing their religion. They don't talk about Jews and Israel and stuff like that all day. There is a circle of people who convert and then think, oh, I am a better Orthodox than all the Orthodox. It's very, very strange. Like the worst thing that I heard ever as part of my when I went to church and when I participated in the Holy Week, liturgies and all that, was a section where there were several things said about how and the Jews rejected him and they wanted to kill him and so on, where it is understood and pointed out historically that when it says the Jews did not accept him and wanted to kill him, this is not talking about Jews as a religious group, right? It is talking about the people, Jesus's own people in his time, and about especially the leadership of them. That's what this is about. In fact, I pointed this out very recently. Our own priest, my spiritual father, he gave me the Orthodox Study Bible to sit down and study it, and I sit there and study it. And the Orthodox Study Bible that I'm studying tells me explicitly in parts where it talks about the Jews in the Gospel of John. This is specifically talking about the leaders who were going after Jesus. That's what this is about. Then I go online and online people are like, no, you're getting it wrong. It's all Jews. Well, you're saying that. The Orthodox Study Bible tells me something else. Who am I supposed to believe? The Orthodox Study Bible or this online dummy here?
You got to go with the guy on Twitter.
True. That's how it goes. People have problems, man. Amit Yanuka, can you say Mazel Tov? One of my friends just got married. Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.
You see, this is proof that he's a Jew. Apo Baker, help of Daddy. AP, your conversion to Orthodoxy. David Wood, your conversion story and that of Anthony Rogers is proof that the risen Christ has power to change lives. Alhamdulillah. Powerful. Apo Baker, Dawood, how the brisket turn out? Gravy, sauce?
No, I don't need any sauce or gravy. Just got to cook it right.
Really?
But slow cooked it for 12 hours or something. Yep, nice.
Celeria Rosenkrantz, look here. Celeria has a profile picture pretending that she's actually a woman. See, we all know you're a guy, man.
Because you've told us repeatedly.
Just started on Surah 4, a weird one to unpack.
Mm-hmm. You think?
It is a pretty messed up one here. Just almost like every other Quran chapter. Apple Baker, El Puff Daddy, what were the desserts for your Easter dinner?
There were some various ones, but I had apple pie and a small piece of chocolate pie.
As American as apple pie. I had something very delicious that I can't really name. I don't know what it was called. Fadi Ibrahim Christos Anesti AP. I think yesterday I figured out how to say the response to that in Greek. Now I can't figure it out. I forgot it.
You say tikanis.
That's not what you say.
Oh, that's how you say. Like that's like how you say how you doing in Greek.
Please watch the first 30 seconds of this video, and you and David should attend during Holy Week next year. Is this a video of Jerusalem or something? I don't know. What is this? Gotta click on it and find it.
The Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Holy Sepulchre, Holy Sepulchre. Oh, there's my wife. Look, she learned it already. Wait a minute. Is this it? My wife here. Alithos anesti. Is that how you say it? Alithos anesti. Okay, good. Alithos anesti. Good. Okay, learning. Let me see. What is this video about that you just told me to watch? Let's see. Let's figure it out. What is this video? Hope it's nothing weird. It's not even loading, man. Wait, did you give me a broken link? Does this actually lead to a weird website or something? What is this? It doesn't even load. Because it says YouTube watch, not youtube.com watch. Let's see. It's about the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Okay. And a certain aspect of it that I don't want to talk about right now. Jack Ray, praise Jesus for he is risen. Alhamdulillah. Indeed. Apple Baker, up off daddy. What motivates Matt Dillahunty? Pride, hate, dumb. Well, I think he's not very happy in life, and he just finds it sad that I'm happy. So
there's an element of truth to that, but kind of the main issue is that when the new atheism took off, you had a bunch of people who felt good and felt like they're winning and felt superior to everyone else, and we're better and we're the smart ones and everyone else is dumb and we're the only ones who are good and everyone else is evil and they're all religiotards and they believe in their sky daddy unlike us, and it just felt good. You are part of something where you're superior to everyone else, and that makes you feel good about yourself. And all of a sudden, people start leaving that, and then they're like, actually, this kind of sucks. It's got nothing for us, and they're leaving. And you want to get back to the glory days. So I said this a while back. I said, as the predictions of the new atheism turn out to be false, people are going to go in a couple different directions. You're going to have people who leave atheism and become Christians or something else. You're going to have atheists who were angry, hostile atheists who just become mellow atheists, like atheists were back in like the 1980s and 1990s. And then the third group is you're going to have the people who try to return to the glory days, right? Who are realizing that things are falling apart around them, but who want to get back to the way the new atheism was in like 2005, 2010, and you're just not going to get it. But Matt Dillahunty's in that final camp, and it's just going to be a pathetic sight to watch.
Oh, we had something called dirt cake, and I think it was one of the best desserts that I've had in my entire life, despite the name.
Seriously, like flour and sugar and stuff work better in cakes than dirt and worms.
So Debo Drew said no, David, in your face. There you go. Am I supposed to believe you or D?
Prove me wrong on anything I just said. Prove it, D. Prove it.
D is right.
You're not proving it because you're not a skeptic. You're a
Christian
skeptic.
Theologetics says proving it is impossible on Matt's epistemology.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I do want to point out in his debate with Mike Licona, Mike is trying to figure out what would qualify as evidence of the supernatural or something like that. And he said, I forget the example of whether Mike was asking about him or someone else, but he asked Matt Dillahunty, all right, suppose you know me really well and you see me die and you see me get my head chopped off. I'm dead. I'm buried. And then later on, I come back and we hang out and I talk to you and I talk about how I was in heaven and I start telling you things about private conversations you had with someone else who died. And I said, yeah, because I was having a conversation with that person in the afterlife. And she told me what you said on this day that no one else knew but her and you, and she died. And I'm the one who could tell you. Would that make you believe? And Matt instantly went, no. And so it's like, okay, what you're saying is you're ruling out the possibility of proving you wrong. Okay, great. If that's what you mean by skepticism, congratulations. That's not what other people mean by skepticism.
So in short, you're wrong. That's good.
Yeah, I'm saying he's pretending to skepticism. He is dogmatic naturalist, dogmatic atheist, and they just call it skepticism.
So you're wrong. Adam writes that meat hit different after 40 days, no cap. That's what she said.
Look at what this Christian thinks is appropriate.
Lucas Ordonez says, God bless you, AP. I had stopped attending Divine Liturgy in church altogether because of some of the orthobro mindset of the church, in the church. But seeing you has made me realize I don't have to subscribe to these toxic mindsets. In the church, when you say in the church, do you mean actually in your parish that you were going to? So did you have people like that in actually in your church in person, or are you talking about people online who are part of that and who act like that? And if you actually did have people like that, which tradition was it? I'm really curious.
Yeah,
Because I don't see this being a very a prominent attitude in the Greek Orthodox Church. It's in fact the opposite position. It's the opposite of the orthobro mindset is very popular in the Greek Orthodox Church, which is why I like it.
you might want to start collecting some of these little points to eventually put them together and show the orthobros what they're actually doing and how they're basically making their little cult of Jew hate and so on, and it's going to drive other people.
They don't
away
get
from
it, man. They really don't get it. Like, they think they're doing Christianity and the Orthodox Church a service by being a bunch of crackhead haters who think they have the authority to gatekeep Christianity. You know, I had people tell me at the beginning, like, "Oh, we don't want you." Excuse me, who are you? Who in the world are you to tell me that that I shouldn't be part of the church, that I shouldn't be part of Orthodox, that I shouldn't be part of Christianity? Who in the world are you? And if you actually believe in the afterlife, in the judgment, in Jesus, in the resurrection, and all of that, I'm pretty sure you would have to answer for turning people away, right? Maybe think about that a little bit. That's pretty messed up, man. It's not your club. It's not your club. Frieza, uhuhuhu, happy Easter, my handsome, cute, kawaii senpai, schnuckelhase, cake human.
Cake human is we should roll with cake human.
And hello, David Holtz. Hello, Frieza. Last spicy ramen. Christ is risen, AP. Met a Jew on Holy Saturday. He's getting baptized tomorrow in Eastern Orthodox and will attend his baptism. Plus, turns out he followed your content for years. David Wood, I pitched your channel, AP. Glory be to God. Wonderful, wonderful, awesome stuff. You know, I pointed this out recently to one of the orthobros online, but I pointed out one thing to him, which is from the moment that I first announced that I am engaging with Christianity, that I'm going to church and all of that. So there is a circle. There are circles of people who make it look like the Jews are the big problem. Since the day I announced that I'm, experimenting with and going through Christianity, every single Jew online that I interact with, every single Jew that I am in contact with and privately interact with, has said nothing but good stuff in response to me. They have been nothing but kind, encouraging, saying, "Hey, congratulations! I heard you found your faith. So happy for you," and so on. On the other hand, you know who has been the most hostile since I announced this kind of stuff? The ones that are pretending to be the ones in charge of the church. Those. So from the beginning, I was actually expecting when I made my announcements that there would be more of a welcoming attitude from some of the online people. I got more of an inviting and loving attitude and an accepting and cheerful attitude from Jews online. I got a much worse attitude in response from those who pretend to be the gatekeepers of Christianity. Maybe that's
You said
too.
gate creepers. That's better.
Yeah,
Gate creepers.
that's funny. I accidentally said it, but it sounds actually pretty good. The gate creepers of Christianity. Those people are very, very messed up, man. The Jews have been the nicest to me Imagine the irony here, man. Imagine the freaking irony here.
That is, dude, that is extreme irony, right? So you got these orthobros going, hey, new convert. How do you not realize that these are your ultimate enemies? And that's why they must be destroyed. And then your ultimate enemies are saying, wow, congratulations. That's awesome, man.
Probably atheist Jews who don't care. No, actually, especially one person, I'm pretty sure that there is no problem in saying his name. Like Joseph, for example, Israel Advocacy Movement, a very, very, like one of the best guys that I know of. He directly, like as soon as he heard of it, he sent me a message, because he has my phone number. I was like, hey, heard about the news, congratulations, man, all the best, and so on. Then he joked about how I'm the first agent to infiltrate the church, and I laughed with him about that. But this is the attitude that I get from religious Jewish people and secular Jewish people. And of course, I mean, it's not all negative. Look, it's not all negative. I don't want to focus just on the negative side. I would say from most Orthodox Christians, I received, love and goodness, right? From most other Christians, Catholic, Protestant, most Christians, I received nothing but goodness, inviting and lovely attitudes. And even when we come to atheists, we started this out with responding to Matt Dillahunty because he's because he had this harsh reaction to me. I must say, I pointed this out to my wife this morning. There seems to be a great shift in how atheists react to things.
Mhm.
Most atheists, I would say, probably the vast majority of atheists who reacted to my conversion reacted nicely and well, and wished me all the best and said, hey, congratulations, man, and all that, privately, publicly. So most of the reactions across the board have been very, very good, and I'm actually very happy with that. So aside from all the negativity that we deal with, there is something great to point out here, which is that across the board the reactions are very, very nice, and I'm a little bit surprised and very happy about it as well. So just want to point that out. Jingoistic Pig made AI of Jar Jar Binks as Alidawa on my Twitter. Rick Newton, Faiththeism requires less brain power than Islam. Islam just uses less. Both require facts and truth to be ignored because Happy Easter, AP and David would. I wouldn't agree with that. I would say that Islam requires much less brain power than anything else. But yeah, thank you very, very much, Rick. Sankey, didn't the ex-account of the official Palestinian mission to the Palestine UN commit kufr by affirming the crucifixion to shill for Palestine today? Hey, good point. Let's bring this up. Did you see that, David?
No, but I'm interested in it. Pull it up.
It was the Palestinian account, the official state of Palestine account. The official state of Palestine. Palestine. Okay, here it is. So, State of Palestine says on Easter, the story of Jesus, the story of Jesus born in Bethlehem, living under occupation, crucified by empire, echoes the Palestinian experience.
Crucified.
A people who face oppression, loss, and injustice yet refuse to be erased. Just as a resurrection followed the crucifixion, Palestinians hold on to hope, dignity, and resistance, believing that even from the darkest tombs, life and freedom will rise again. This is what they said.
Oh, yeah, that's getting a video.
So they here acknowledge that Jesus was crucified.
Palestine apostatizes from Islam.
Jesus was crucified by the empire.
State of Palestine apostatizes, and resurrection follows crucifixion.
So they acknowledge that Jesus was crucified by the Romans. This is very, very. What do Muslims say about this? What do Muslims say about this? And then they actually posted this here. I'm not entirely sure if this is supposed to depict Jesus here, but it's pretty messed up, with a keffiyeh and a halo, not the right halo. I'm not sure if this is supposed to depict him or somebody else, but it's pretty messed up, and also engaging in a rejection of Islamic claims. The Quran literally, Islam literally teaches that Jesus wasn't killed, wasn't crucified, but
And
they
again,
acknowledge
oh, hey, that's called the Nazarene. So that's
yes,
Jesus.
yes.
So that's supposedly Jesus. So now they're posting. So they're not only saying that Jesus was crucified, they're posting images of Jesus.
As a white colonizer here who's wearing a keffiyeh, see?
Mm-hmm. Good to know. Good to know. Fun videos to make. Fun videos. I like fun videos.
Fun videos. I pointed out that Jesus called it Israel. And that he wasn't an Islamic terrorist, which is of course very rude of me. I didn't mean anything by this.
A little rude. What?
But Jesus literally referred to it as Israel. And look, my point here is not Jesus called it Israel, therefore the modern state of Israel is legitimate. That's not the point at all. The point is don't use Jesus for your disgusting purposes. And of course, you have people like, Israel was the name of the prophet, not a land. So apparently when Jesus said going through the towns of Israel, he meant going through the towns of Jacob.
Yeah.
People, man. Denial is pretty bad. Denial stinks. Sankey didn't the X account. Apostle of Allah. Happy Resurrection Day. He's risen. Happy Resurrection Day. Christian Theologetics says, Matt not caring about evidence. What else is new? Very, very rude. Miss Saber, Muhammad stated that he couldn't perform miracles like all the other prophets because he was a warner, not a prophet. Doesn't that make anyone calling him prophet a corrupter for changing his title?
No, yeah, that doesn't mean he's not a prophet. So Muhammad would be a warner, a prophet, and a messenger. If you're receiving revelations, and so on, then if you're communicating to people from God, revelations from God, then you're a prophet. That doesn't mean you are performing miracles. So he's saying that he's a prophet, a warner, a prophet, a messenger with no miracles, except the Quran. The Quran is his miracle.
Based. The worst miracle ever, man.
Yeah, it's the most terriblest ever. Look. How could anyone do this? Look. Oh, this is impossible. No one can make a book. No one could ever make a book. What mere human being could make a book?
See, this is the proof. Happy Pascha, AP and David. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Bioscope. Hi, David. I'm challenging you. Adam, Eve creation. Are you willing to debate?
No. Why would I? One, no, I do. You are. Two, I don't even know what you're talking about. Three, why would I be interested in debating?
I challenge you, Adam, Eve creation. Yes. Oopsie says nobody cares about Matt Dillahunty. Him and Diddy would get along very well. Also, AP, where is Diddy Grandpa head? It's not here. It's gone. It must be very, very far away by now. Who the heck is Matt Dillahunty? Holy Joe, Assalamu alaikum. Dawood and Abe, happy Pascha Resurrection Day. Jesus is risen alive and is seated at the right hand of God the Father. Amen. Celeria Rosencrow says, just want to say, joining the Islamic Dilemma project has been very good for me. I've finally broken through the 100 follower mark. Also, happy Pascha. Thank you. And to you. Happy Pascha to you.
And I will check out some of your stuff there, Celeria.
Celeria. Hey, the other day I got ChatGPT to joke about Muhammad. It's very, very messed up, man.
I thought ChatGPT wouldn't joke about something like that.
I know, but I kind of made it. I somehow made it do that. I set up this. I was devising.
Do it or else. I am the apostate prophet. I demand you do it.
By giving it like some instructions, and then basically just first talking about other topics and then joking about it and getting into this attitude of casually joking about random stuff, asking questions and posting laughter emojis, and then it jokes with me and all that. Then eventually I brought the question to Muhammad, and then about Muhammad and jinns. And actually, before this, I said, "It wasn't it weird that Muhammad like disappeared one night, and then when people asked him, 'Hey, where were you last night?' He was like, 'Oh, I was with the jinns.'" That's a pretty messed up excuse.
Mhm.
And then it actually started joking about that. And then I talked about this and I started joking, like, exactly every time it's like, "Muhammad, I had a dream your daughter was mine. The father, she's barely out of the cradle, bro. Muhammad, dreams of prophets are revelations. Don't argue. Allah co-signed it. The father, guess I'll start planning the wedding. Muhammad, also no dowry, divine exemptions, you understand." And this wasn't a one-off. Zainab, married to his adopted son, Allah said it's fine. Aisha, prepubescent, Allah said it's a vision. Extra wives, Allah said that rule is for everyone else. Dude had a hotline to heaven that just kept validating the weirdest personal urges. Every awkward move, boom, Quranic footnote. This is
Dude,
ChatGPT talking.
You just got to get ChatGPT to say it, man, to say it in the voice and record it. And that will be, if you make, you got to make a couple really, really well done short videos like that show things like this. Because once you have a collection of a couple of them out there, everyone is just going to use those to respond to Lily J every single time she goes, ChatGPT, and they're just gonna keep posting yours over and over again in response.
You see, that's powerful. So, David, it's kind of funny because I actually wanted to talk today about the destruction of the Holy Sepulchre.
Yeah, here we are an hour and a half into it and still haven't even mentioned it.
Way back in the day, but then I never did that. So,
Nope.
David, what do you know about the destruction of the Holy Sepulchre?
All
right, let's move on to super chats now.
Yeah, because I'm going all the way back to the beginning. So you had, ladies and gentlemen, you had Jerusalem. You had Jerusalem during the time of Jesus. What is now the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was outside of the city. That was outside of the city wall, right? And it was an ancient rock quarry. That area was an ancient rock quarry. So that's where they would hew the stones that they would use for building various places and so on. Eventually, they stopped using it as a rock quarry, and then it became a place. In the first century, it became a place where people would dig tombs. And that's why Joseph of Arimathea digs a tomb there. But then you had this interesting little place in John where it says there was a garden. There was a garden there, which that's interesting because it's supposedly a rock quarry. Rock quarry sounds like the opposite of garden. Your boy Wes Huff just brought this up, and I had made a video on it a couple weeks ago that they just found out that there was a garden there. There's a garden underneath. Hey, AP, we were there. And remember, we couldn't get into most of the place. We got into the empty tomb, but they wouldn't let us visit the rest because it was closed for renovations. They've actually been digging under the place while they're doing renovations. Archaeologists found that there was a garden underneath the place. So anyway, turns out to be cool. So anyway,
we was there.
Leading up to the first Jewish-Roman war, the Jews extended the wall, made the area bigger to try and make it more defensible and so on. So they extended the wall around the area that is now the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Then the Romans won the war, leveled the place. So this is all destroyed. And then you get to Constantine, and he tells people, go find out where that was. Go find out where the crucifixion was and where the tomb was. And so they get to the place that they regard as the likeliest place for it. And you had a tomb there, you had a crucifixion site and so on. And then they build a place there that doesn't last. And then was it that one that was destroyed? I think it was one that replaced that was actually destroyed by the Muslims. And then later Muslim felt bad about it and tried to let it be rebuilt and so on.
Yeah, pretty sure. In the year 1009, it was a caliph that was the Fatimid, the Shia caliph, who actually. There are different reasons given for it, but he was a pretty messed up dude, and he had this attitude of cracking down on the minority populations, on the religious minorities, including on Christians and on Jews, but especially the Christians because they were big. He said, "Hey, these people are too free, right now. It's time to reimpose those good old rules back on them. So they started imposing rules. He started imposing rules such as that Christians must wear identifiers, such as they have to wear a big wooden cross that is like heavy to wear. Right, so Christians have to walk around with that, with like these heavy crosses, that is a burden on their neck. And Jews had to walk around with big calf necklaces, and they also had to wear like different turbans that identify them by color and belts that identify them by color. But he gave the order in the year 1009. Apparently, as he was investigating the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and was like, I don't believe this nonsense what people are doing here and celebrating. First, he banned Easter celebrations for Christians. Then later, he started cracking down and ordering actually the complete and full destruction of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So under his rule, apparently he also ordered the destructions of hundreds of churches under his empire, including in Egypt and in Jerusalem and anywhere else. But the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was destroyed at that time fully and completely. And with that, also lots of Christian artifacts, Christian Bibles, Christian service books, and so on. Everything destroyed, and Christians were forbidden from gathering there and rebuilding anything there. Many of them were given the choice to just, hey, if you don't like this, if you don't like the way you're treated here, just convert to Islam, man. So as it's usually done. At the same time, synagogues were destroyed, Torahs were burned, and so on. Pretty messed up time. The Christians came out of this. Let's read an article. Let me read an article here. I didn't read this. I didn't really look into this. I'm just going by memory here. But let's look at this. Let's look at what this here says. Christianity.com. If it's Christianity.com, then it must be the official page of Christianity, right?
That's true.
So let's see what this says. In the year 1009, Al-Hakim, the Caliph of Egypt, ordered the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem destroyed. Workmen obeyed, and Yahya ibn Sa'id, an Islamic historian, wrote, the holy deed commenced on Tuesday. By the holy deed, they are referring to the destruction of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The holy deed. The holy deed commenced on Tuesday, the 5th day before the end of the month of Safar.
Well, we'll see if we can't have a holy deed with the Dome of the Rock.
What do you think?
How you like that? Sorry about that.
Commenced on Tuesday, Safar of the year 400 of the Hegira. Converting from the Muslim calendar would place the destruction on or about this day, October 17, 1009. The demolition of the site so holy to Christians began with the empty tomb where Jesus had allegedly been buried and continued with the dome. The destruction was not total, however, because as the high parts fell, rubble blocked the workmen from getting at lower parts for close to 40 years. Christians were forbidden to visit the site. So for close to 40 years, Christians were forbidden to visit the site. Constantine, the first emperor to identify with Christianity, built the original Church of the Holy Sepulchre, acting on the researches of his mother Helena, when she identified the cave in which Christ was thought to have lain. Her son ordered the Bishop of Jerusalem to begin building. It will be well, therefore, for your sagacity to make such arrangements and provision of all things needful for the work, that not only the church itself as a whole may surpass all others whatsoever in beauty, but that the details of the building may be of such a kind that the fairest structures in any city of the empire may be excelled by this. In his biography of Constantine, Eusebius wrote, this monument, therefore, first of all, as the chief part of the whole, the emperor's zealous magnificence, beautified with rare columns and profusely enriched with the most splendid decorations of every kind. The Persians destroyed the magnificent edifice in 614, but it was partly restored, to be smashed again by the Caliph Al-Hakim 400 years later. So this is what they do. Under the Muslims, one of the holiest sites from the early times of Christianity was brutally destroyed. Later on, a treaty between Byzantium and the Muslims allowed Christians to rebuild the Church of the Holy Sepulchre about 40 years after Al-Hakim's holy deed. It's funny how they quoted it here. The new structure was much more modest than the original. Crusaders later rebuilt the whole under one roof and added some other buildings, but their work fell into disrepair over the centuries and had to be renovated in the 1960s. In recent years, The Palestinian Authority has attempted to gain control of several Christian sites, including the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, as a means of bringing political pressure to bear on the governments of Christian nations. This is very funny.
I'm going to take it hostage. Hey, I just want to point out, if there's ever a demolition of the Dome of the Rock to prepare for building something else in its place, I want holy deed written down the side of whatever equipment is being used to destroy it.
Powerful.
Holy deed.
Holy deed. So, it says that the Palestinian Authority wants to take control of these holy sites to use it as a means to pressure Christian nations into supporting them.
That's funny because that's how I think. I'm always like, I would just totally take the black stone. I would send in special forces, go in there, take the black stone, and then use it.
It is kind of weird.
Hey, I'm going to soak this thing in pig intestines until you stop terrorizing people.
This seems kind of like an Islamophobic article, to be honest. I mean, I'm not sure who wrote this.
It is.
I will contact whoever wrote this and demand them to be fired. Dan Graves. What does MSL mean, David?
Master of something.
Maybe it stands for MS Lutheran or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Mean sea level. Apparently, it means mean sea level. Okay, good. So, it's one of the
science liaison. Doesn't make any sense.
Medical science liaison. Muslims have controlled the entrance to the church ever since the Crusaders were driven out in 1187.
Master of Studies in Law, if it's used as a degree. So I'm going to go with that guy has a master in studies of law.
I'm pretty sure it means misery synod Lutheran. That's it. That's probably what it means. Maybe it's a title of a ship. I don't know. Could be anything. So, do you want this to happen again, boys and gals? It's the Islamic empires, the Islamic times are not very, very good and not very, very kind upon the minorities, on Christian minorities or other minorities. It is one of the holiest sites of the Christians was destroyed. It is reportedly. It was allowed to be rebuilt, and the oppression stopped at that point because they were fueling immense anger among Christians. In fact, this whole event here, the destruction of the Holy Sepulchre, is seen as one of the contributors to the First Crusade, where the Christians thought, "Hey, our holy sites are being destroyed. We have to do something about this." So decades later, they start the First Crusade. And start directly going in there and fighting and taking over. But stuff like this happened again and again. And the only reason they didn't further destroy everything is because, even as the Quran says, they shouldn't be, mocking or insulting other people's deities or what they consider holy, so that others do not insult Allah back. Here again, with this instance, they stopped destroying churches and all that for a little bit out of fear that the Christians might respond and also kill Muslims and destroy mosques. However, we still have a list of church destructions, again, happening in the 12th century, in the 13th century, 15th century, 16th century, throughout the Ottoman Empire, and so on. And for most of Islamic history, Christians were forced to wear different identifiers so that everyone knows, hey, this guy is a Christian, this guy is a Jew. So Christians and Jews were always told, or throughout most of history, told in Islamic regions that they are supposed to wear, yellow turbans or different turbans, and wear belts, and wear necklaces and all that, wear bells on their necks. Things like that. This is the kind of treatment that people have undergone in Islam. And David, where does this practice go back to? When did this first start?
It's one of life's great mysteries. It just crept in there unannounced out of nowhere at some point.
Interesting. But where did it really start, David?
Hang on. I did want to point out, going back to what you were saying a couple minutes ago, because you're saying about, hey, this is what things are like under Islamic rule. did want to point out, because this is what lots of people would point out, you did have Muslim rulers who are much nicer.
Yes.
Much nicer. But the idea is it's a matter of time, right?
Yes.
It's a matter of time. You have all these commands in the Muslim sources about how you are to treat Jews and Christians. You can get Muslim rulers who are very nice and aren't brutal, aren't trying to be brutal towards Jews and Christians and Muslims from Muslim minority groups that aren't the main group or something like that. You can get very nice guys. It's a matter of time before you get a caliph who says we need to go and crush all these guys and really, really destroy their places and do all this stuff. And that's so you have these cycles throughout Islamic rule. It's hey, let's crack down and destroy them all. Okay, let's be a little nicer. Let's crack down and destroy them all. Let's be nicer. And that's Islam.
This is what they do. That's what they do. Today, it is still a Muslim family that claims ownership over the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and so on, which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, they got to open the door.
Hey, if you want to go in there, you got to get the keys from me. So you better do what we say, bro.
We
Take that into consideration when you see Christian reactions to the conflict that is going on. Think of one fact, which is that the Christians in Jerusalem, especially the old city of Jerusalem, and the territories that are currently under the leadership of the so-called Palestinian Authority, are very, very much at the mercy of the Muslims in their religious practices, in their freedoms, in their daily lives, and so on. This is how things are. I have to agree with this. Bourdieu, Crusaders killed Jews. This is what they did do indeed. It's one of the bad aspects of it. They killed Orthodox Christians, they killed Jews, they killed Muslims, and so on. So the funny thing about this whole thing is, I just mentioned how the Fatimid Caliph or the Shia Caliph treated the churches and the synagogues. 90 years after this, the Crusaders came into Jerusalem, and they started killing other Christians and started killing Muslims and started also killing Jews. And they were probably responsible for destructions of many synagogues that were rebuilt or that remained from older times in and around Jerusalem. Has to be pointed out.
No, actually it doesn't, if that's not what you're talking about. It'd be like saying Crusaders killed Jews, and then like, well Jews killed Stephen.
No, I think she's pointing out because there were lots of crusades were based and so on in the comments. So
okay. That's a response. Thought it was responding to us, pointing something out.
And I'm a great fan of the Crusades, of their foundation,
the general idea, how they were carried out.
How they were carried out is pretty messed up. Especially the Fourth Crusade was pretty messed up. But
by the way, Pete, this actually ties into something we've been saying for a long time, and that I've been saying for many years. There's a time when you can deal with Islam peacefully, and there's other times where people are becoming angrier and angrier and angrier and angrier about Islam. And what you'll have is the leaders just keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut. But meanwhile, it's like it's like people are in a pressure cooker. And the longer you put off dealing with Islam, the more explosive the response is going to be. That's actually part of my concern, is you're eventually going to get with a bunch of people who are completely enraged and are like, we're going on a mass murdering spree. Guess what? There will be a lot of people caught in that crossfire. That'll be a bloodbath. The bloodbaths tend to boil over because you end up with a bunch of people who are really, really amped up and want to go on a killing spree, and they're encouraged to do so, and then lots of people die in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
So better to deal with it when you can deal with it peacefully.
Yeah. Gota pointed out, I think they were also excommunicated for doing so. I'm not sure who and what was excommunicated, but the Catholic Church reacted to the Crusaders also massacred Jewish towns in Germany on their way of launching the crusade, and the Catholic Church made issued a brutal condemnation of that, and I think as a result of it, excommunicated or took huge measures against the perpetrators and said such a thing should never, ever be done, no matter who you are, and so on. Not sure if it led to many excommunications of leadership, but the Catholic Church itself is not the perpetrator in these things. The Catholic Church itself, never authorized any of that, and did condemn it very, very heavily, because it also violated the rights that the Catholic Church had given to, or had issued for, Jewish communities in Germany and in Europe, for example. They were under the protection, supposedly under the protection of the Catholic Church, but certain crusaders violated the protection and just started killing them. So it's not all black and white. Why aren't they skeptical of evolution, says Abzis, or the moon landing, or the shape of the earth? Not true skeptic.
Yeah, I think the point here would be, if you dial up your skepticism, you can dial up your skepticism high enough to where, one, you shouldn't believe in any of these things, but also you can dial up your skepticism high enough to where, how do I know I'm talking to AP right now? Or how do I know we're live right now? How do I know I'm not dreaming? How do I know I'm not in the Matrix? How do I know I'm not actually a brain in a vat in a scientist's lab who's giving me thoughts? And so how do I know any of that stuff? Therefore, I shouldn't believe anything.
Honestly, I hope that this is what Obzi is saying, because when the moon landing definitely did happen.
No. If you want to be, if you really want to be skeptical,
I know. I'm telling you, I hope that's what Obzi is.
I'm saying you have abandoned skepticism, AP. If you were a true skeptic, you would not accept any evidence for the moon landing.
Hey, wait a minute. I just thought of something. Speaking of moon landing, have you seen Candace Owens' recent rant?
Oh, yeah. When she's saying that the moon landings are fake and gay.
Not just the moon landing, but
it's pretty creepy that she still has so many followers with all the insanely idiotic things she says.
Candace Owens has completely lost the plot. Calls up Matt Walsh for thinking space is real. She says that space is completely fake. You must come to terms with the fact that NASA and space mission have always been this fake and gay, and you need to learn the history of NASA and the Apollo program, which were occult and satanic. Let me see. Let's see.
But here's my
Elon should take her into space. Elon, take her up into space and show her things.
Of NASA.
Take her to space,
and moon landing.
Take her to space.
Things happened. And listen, when the guys did it, it was fake and gay. I'm sorry, Matt, and it's time for you to admit it. It was just as bad. You just weren't alive for it. Okay.
How old are you, Candace? She actually used the expression in a serious way.
Fake and gay, yeah.
How old are you, Candace?
Did you ever see that video where like a 90-year-old Buzz Aldrin punched that dude in the face? He clocked him, man, huh?
Yeah.
That was awesome. The guy's like, why'd you fake the moon landing? Why'd you fake the moon landing? He's like harassing him. He's trying to walk away and stuff. The guy's just coming. Buzz just clocks him. But he had a solid punch for a super old guy. But anyway.
Homies were on the moon making phone calls before the time of cell phones. Like, hey, what's up, Prez? It's me on the moon with the flag. No issues. First time we've ever flown this thing.
Before the time of mobile phones, she doesn't even understand what was going on with the phone calls.
Yeah, they didn't even have they didn't even have iPhones. They didn't even have iPhones back then. How would they have communicated? Come on, be realistic. It's not like there are ways to communicate apart before cell phones.
Do you think every single communication that was made through a device was taking place at that time with cables in place?
Next, they're going to make you think that there are walkie-talkies, like some guy in a battlefield could be talking into a little box and, some guy on the other side of the field is hearing it. Come on, people. Come on.
I mean, you don't even have to accept that the phone conversation that happened was like real time and all of that. But, you could think maybe they just staged that or something. That's totally fine. But she's implying that there was no way to back then make a call from a station to somewhere in outer space. How does she think the radio works? How does she think the radio worked back then? It's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. We just.
What?
I'm just saying she does the same thing. It's like the same thing with Mengele. It's like, I don't know what I'm talking about, so this doesn't make sense to me since I'm completely clueless on this topic that I'm talking about. And yet I'm going to talk about it with complete confidence. Some dangerous stuff, man.
So stupid.
So we just got through the belt pretty easily. And until Matt Walsh accepts.
Whoa. What?
that
Through
he-
what belt? Through what belt? What belt?
You know, the one belt that if you go through it, then you get poisoned and killed immediately.
I'm just saying the only relevant belt would be the asteroid belt, but that's not between you and the moon.
No, the what's it called? The Alen belt? Is it called the Alen belt? What's it called again? What's it called? I can't think of the name right. The Van Allen belt, yeah, the Van Allen radiation belt. So there is this this low tier, I guess, beginner conspiracy theory, thinking that the Van Allen radiation belt would prevent humans from traveling through it and would absolutely kill you.
How?
But
You can block radiation.
it is not true. It's just under the right circumstances, it can be easily surpassed. It's like it has been proven through physics ages ago. It's such a stupid argument. It's like, as said, it's like beginner, like entry level conspiracy theory nonsense. There are some people who still hold on to this. Like, oh, you can't go to the Van Allen belt. How could you do that? This proves it never happened, dude. That was an issue that was brought up before any experiment was made. It's like that problem has been solved ages ago, man.
No, what's she saying here? Because you have people who believe that the first moon landing was faked, just to stick it to Russia, but that people eventually went there. Then you have people who believe that all the moon landings are fake, but that you could actually go there now. Then you have people who believe that it's impossible. You can't actually get into outer space and so on. So do you even know what her position is? Does she believe you can't get to space, or does she believe that they were fake back then, but that like Elon is actually going into outer space now?
Maybe she thinks that there was only one moon mission. I don't know. How often did NASA land on the moon? How often did they go to the moon? How often, NASA? How often? Was it 4 times? Oh, that's a funny estimate. It's actually 6 times.
Hey, Norm MacDonald had a joke. Look up the last guy who was on the moon.
Last guy
Who was the last person on the moon?
Norm. Who? Eugene Kernan?
No, that's not the last guy on the moon, man.
I don't know. I don't care.
Who was the last person on the
Norm MacDonald made a joke about the unlucky astronaut. Okay, I see. I'm not gonna watch it though. I'm not gonna play it. I don't want this to be
Oh
shut
no, he said Harrison Schmitt. So it says the last person to walk on the moon was Eugene Kernan on December 14th, 1972. He was the commander of the Apollo 17 mission, which was the final Apollo moon landing mission. Kernan and his crewmate Harrison Schmitt were the last 2 astronauts to set foot on the lunar surface. Anyway, Norm was making some point. He used Harrison Schmitt. I remember that. So he was using Harrison Schmitt about someone basically no one's ever heard of him. No one's ever heard of these guys, right? It's like if you're not. It's like if you're not the first one, man, then I mean you were on the moon and no one remembers. You're the last 2 guys on the moon. No one's ever heard of you.
You see.
Mission in 69 was also fake and gay. I don't care. I can't defend you. Even if I fully agree with you about Gayle King, I won't. I literally cannot defend you. Okay, you must come to terms with the fact that NASA and space missions have always been this fake and gay. You just weren't alive for the original ones, and you need to learn the history of NASA, of the Apollo program.
I find it very funny when she talks about somebody else.
You have to learn the history. You have to learn the history, and you need to learn the history of the Holocaust. They were doing medical experiments. Come on, why would they do that?
It's actually history. That's what it is.
Programs, which were occult and satanic. It was literally meant to be an antichrist movement to make people believe in man. It's a fact. I'm going to show you guys. It's like, you can look this up anywhere. Look up Jack Parsons and the Apollo program. They just wanted people to believe in scientific advancement. The guy who created the Apollo program was this guy, Jack Parsons. Can you pull up this clip, Skylar? This is from a podcast, the Science History Institute Museum and Library. This is one of their podcasts, and you scroll down here, And you, again, are probably going to have to make this bigger for my eyes. But at the top here, Jack Parsons was a brilliant rocket scientist, but he lived a wild lifestyle with a devil may care attitude. He was pretty relaxed about safety.
You know what she's doing here? This is so incredibly stupid.
Yes.
This is so when I say entry level conspiracy theory, she really acts like I don't understand how this person is famous. I don't understand how she has so many followers. She acts like one of those anonymous accounts when you go on Twitter, right? And then in the comment section, there are sometimes these anonymous accounts that appear and that make like 4 or 5 comments at the same time, and they all contain these giant text wall screenshots from the year 1992 or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how they had social media there and how they created those screenshots, but she's basically a public face form of those people. She presents the most ridiculous entry-level conspiracy theories and basically says, because this guy had a little bit of a questionable practice in his past, this means that NASA is a satanic occultist group that wants to go against Christianity and deceive the people into believing in space.
Mm-hmm. And think about what she just said here. Oh, it's to make a man first, humanocentric thing. You could grant all of that. You could grant all of that and say that's why they wanted to get to the moon, to really impress everyone. You don't get, and therefore it's all fake. Because guess what? If you want to say it's fake, you can't just point a finger at this guy and say, oh, this guy wanted a sex cult and stuff, so that's why you had thousands and thousands of people involved in this project. You had tons of people involved in this project. They all have to be in on this massive conspiracy, even though at any point since the moon landings, someone in there could be an instant multimillionaire overnight. Any of these people who went up on the moon or anyone who was involved in it could be an instant overnight millionaire just by publishing your book about how you were in on the conspiracy.
That is very, very funny. It's very, very funny, isn't it? Very, very funny. Fame today. During the move, the trio decided to call their new outfit the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The famous JPL of NASA fame today. By all rights, it should have been called the RPL. I'm pretty sure that this guy didn't actually have any connection to the greater NASA project.
Hey,
he's just really a forerunner in developing the jet propulsion and all that.
Harrison Schmidt is still alive. Harrison Schmidt, you could be a millionaire tonight, buddy. Get the recognition you finally deserve. All you have to do is say it was all fake. Title your book, I'm supposedly one of the 2 last men on the moon, and yet I've never been there because it was all fake.
But this is so funny. I'm finding out now that this is actually kind of it should be part of the article that she's bringing up here. The guy that she's talking about, Jack Parsons, as one who was engaged in occultist activities and all that, he created the project that was a forerunner to NASA, and based on which NASA was later developed by people who didn't have any connection to him. So she's bringing up this guy's history, this guy's personal history, as proof that NASA is a satanic occultist group, when this guy just established the Jet Lab project, upon which NASA was later on funded. So he didn't even have any fingers in the founding of NASA.
Dude, isn't this like what she'll do with anything else, like with Jewish stuff? She'll be like, but look, here was a person and he had this view. Therefore, everything that came after this person, everything that was ever associated in any way or that I can connect by some mental gymnastics is part of this person's plot to do this. And then she'll say everything in this like extremely smug, condescending, you don't even know about this person who, guess what, Candace? I mean, pick something that had thousands of people involved in it. Find someone with a messed up view that you think is weird or something like that. Point at that person and say, see, therefore, this is what the entire thing is. It's all, I don't know, it just seems like insanely stupid. And the fact that there are people who are on board with all this is just nuts, man.
We called it, but when we were talking about her like a while ago, she was still not this insane. She has really, really gone more and more insane on a very, very, very high, like in a very fast way. I'm not sure what exactly happened to her. I mean, I never liked her. I always thought that she was a kind of a grifter and was not very, very, didn't have any good takes or any good information, but she really went off the rails and became a completely insane person at this point.
And that's something that can happen. You have a person who has some tendencies towards some conspiracy nonsense in her head, but for years she's sort of up and coming, and she's the golden girl of conservatives because she's black and a woman and conservative and stuff. So they want to prop her up. But guess what? She has to keep those people happy because that's her livelihood right there. Then this catapults her to the Daily Wire. But there you have people that you have to sort of keep your crazy under control, because if not, then you're going to have problems with the people you're working with. Eventually, she couldn't keep the crazy under control, and so she's gone from the Daily Wire. They part ways, but now she has nothing keeping her, that's causing her to keep her crazy thoughts in check. Nothing. Now she can just do whatever she wants because she's popular and she's not connected to anyone who's going to keep her from going off the deep end. And so she's going off the deep end.
You see.
Safety and dabbled in drugs, occult practices, and sex cult rituals. It would all eventually catch up with him, though, and quite literally they were throwing these sex rituals, and he believed that he had summoned the devil, and the devil told him that he needed to create a moon child. Next thing you know, they're telling us we made it to the moon. I mean, you got to look into Jack Parsons and the origin of NASA. I'm telling you, space has always been exceedingly fake and gay. It's fake and gay when the men did it, and it's now fake and gay because the women did it. So go back and watch our NASA episode to learn more about the establishment of the Apollo program and why it's always been occult and satanic and about devil.
She's talking about a guy who wasn't even part of NASA. He didn't create NASA. NASA was created after him. She is such a horrible person to take any knowledge from or any information from. She's so, and there are probably like thousands of people believing her and saying, "Oh, look, I didn't know this, but Candace Owens exposed NASA as a satanical." No, she didn't. She's just yapping nonsense here. That's it.
But dude, I was asking, was she just saying this about the original moon landings or something like this, or is she saying no one got to space?
She's
but she just said it. Yeah, she just said it. She said it was fake and gay with the men when the men did it. It's fake and gay when the women did it. So she's talking about the women who just went into space, saying it's all fake.
She's calling
they just like put these guys in a space. They put these ladies in a spaceship and flew them around in the atmosphere a little bit, and then said, "Oh yeah, you went to space." And they had you're looking out the window, and but it's really digital, and it's just giving you a fake picture of space or something like that.
Worship and about the Antichrist. It's just undeniable. It's like a part of history.
It's undeniable.
So I'm challenging you, Matt Walsh, once again, until you say, "Candace, you were right. Space is not real. I'm just a guy and grew up with little astronaut figurines, and I can't let it go because a little boy in me doesn't want to say no."
Yeah, that's the reason.
She literally just said space is not real.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what she thinks is out there.
And she thinks that the only reason anyone would believe that she's not an idiot is just because, they had an astronaut toy. They had a little spaceship toy when they were kids, and then they thought it was real. And so they can't break away from it. Poor people. You got to be smart like Candace Owens.
Yes, she said space is not real. So any of those who said, I disagree with her on this, but I think she's very smart and knowledgeable. Yeah. I challenge you to listen to this a few more times here.
And just keep in mind, this is Andrew Tate's biggest living defender.
Guy and grew up with little astronaut figurines, and I can't let it go because a little boy in me doesn't satanic, and that's just real. So I'm challenging you, Matt Walsh, one Antichrist. It's just undeniable. It's like a part of history that's just real. So I'm challenging you, Matt Walsh, once again, until you say, "Candace, you were right. Space is not real. Space
is not real." There you have it.
Right.
You need to
Space is
save
not
that
real.
as a
The
sound
guy
bite.
grew up with little astronaut
Space
figure.
is not real.
Astronaut. Space is not real.
Space is not real.
Maybe she should have been on that little thing that they just threw up there with.
I was saying,
Katy
send her
Perry.
into space. I was send her, take her up there, Elon, and then she'll come back down. Great. You think I'm falling for that? Come on. You think I
Nah, it was
don't
just a
know? You
hallucination.
think I don't know that it was a big television outside the window, and you're just
It was
trying to make
literally just a hallucination. Like they probably gave me drugs before they sent me up there. It's like I literally,
I'm not going to be in your sex cult. I'm not going to be in your sex cult and go into space.
literally. Michelle, what's up, Michelle? Christos Anesti, happy first Christian Resurrection Day. Thank you, Michelle. Praise the Lord. Hugs to you, Mrs. AP, and the kids, and to the Woodies. Yeah, Woodies come together. Woodies together. I'm not sure why you call your fans Woodies. It's kind of weird, man. Matt's Bob Yerk says, "Why have we never seen Shaky Booty and AP in the same room together?" I'm just asking questions. Because we don't come together. Why else would you not see them? It's ridiculous. Jackson Hill, I with Christianity was true. AP exposed, you see. You see. I wish Christianity was true. I think that's what you mean. But hey guys, many of us atheists aren't trying to convert anyone. We speak out to try and...
Many of us atheists aren't trying to convert anyone. When did we say otherwise? Didn't I say
you literally said every single atheist wants to convert everybody?
Yeah, I broke atheists down into 3 categories. So what? I don't know how this would conflict with anything else.
You literally said all atheists.
I said every atheist on the planet is always trying to convert everyone else, and they're all.
You
obsessed with it.
literally said all atheists want to convert everybody to Islam. We speak out to try and normalize our non-beliefs so that we get the fair treatment. The you must have
hang on. Pause there. Yes, because atheists are getting horrible treatment in the West. You know, poor Richard Dawkins and all these other atheists who are idolized around, professors at the most prestigious universities is poor persecuted atheists. All right, now go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think atheists are getting any bad treatment in the West at all. But I would say that lots of the loud atheists like Matt Dillahunty obviously are not just about this, I'm the guy who just comes at me because I expressed that I go to church and I'm happy, that's it.
Hey, on his Wikipedia page, Harrison Schmidt, it says he's the most recent living person to have walked on the moon. So AI said he was one of the 2 last, then it was actually the other guy who was last, and his Wikipedia page says he was the last. Anyway, I got to get to the bottom of this, but
it says living because the other guy is dead.
Because they were on the sex cult.
Gabriel Valencia became a YouTube member. Welcome and thanks for joining the channel.
Oh, most recent living person. I get it. All right.
You see?
Wait. Go back to that. What was the end of that?
What
was the end of that comment? Did you already get past it? It's
already
gone.
Timothy Freeman says 2018. You wish.
Hold on. Did it say all this atheists must lack morals is garbage, something like that?
No, it didn't say anything like that.
It did say that.
No, it didn't. It literally didn't. But
I'm just going to go to it.
Timothy Freeman said, Christianity, 2018, you wish Christianity was true, you see? He was never truly a dark knight. Christos Anesti. AP David Wood, we Latins love, what does it say? Is that a Vatican flag? The flags don't appear on here, but I'm just guessing because it says VA. I think that's the Vatican. And you, Ortho, nope, not saying that. And Greece share the same blessed feast day today. Pray for Pope. Alhamdulillah. Powerful. Good comment. Except for the bad stuff here. Gabriel Valencia. So does this mean that Dillahunty is just a skeptic for skepticism's sake, since you aren't allowed to change your position despite the evidence? Yes.
Hey, you liar. You said the you must have no morals thing is just crap.
Who said that?
D. That was at the end. I said, what was that at the end?
D would never say something.
You're like, no, I made it disappear, therefore it never happened. I'm like, well,
D would never say something like that.
It says the you must have no morals thing is just crap. Who said that an atheist can't have morals? I'm just saying you're 0 for 3 in your claims in that super chat, D. 0 for 3.
D would never
you're still way better off than Matt Dillahunty.
I don't believe you. Rachel gifted 5 memberships. Very, very based of Rachel Zechevich to gift 5 memberships. Enoch Petsu says, David Wood, if Jesus Christ returns today, are you prepared to go? God bless.
I'm a Christian. What do you think?
God bless. Are you prepared to go?
I'm a Christian. It's not about me at this point. It's about everyone else.
Adam Wright says, became a YouTube member. Welcome to the club, Adam Wright. Ed Ski, God bless you, apostate prophet. Thank you. Michelle, what's up, Michelle? Plenty atheists have high moral argument is without God. Plenty atheists have high moral argument is without God. Creator morality itself doesn't exist as without material worldview. Morality is absolute, requires morality maker, otherwise is preference only.
Yeah, that's the real issue with morality in atheism. It's that if you take a claim, do not kill or something like that, what is the status of that claim? What is it? What authority does the claim have? One, it could just be, we've all agreed that you shouldn't do it, and if you do, we'll punish you or something like that. But if that is that all it is? Is that all it is? Is it something that's wired into us just biologically? Is it something that a society programs into you, but that a different society could say something else? So is it objectively correct? Do you have a moral obligation to do this, or is it something else?
Yes.
Your options are pretty limited on atheism. In other words, in any source of that in atheism, any source of that claim, it's pretty easy to say, I don't want to follow it. You could follow it. You could follow it all day. You could follow rules your entire life as an atheist. You could say, I'm not following those stupid rules. The point is, who's deciding what is and is not a moral obligation there? That's the question.
Sankey made a very good point. Said AP was never a real
Extremely
atheist.
good
He doesn't
point.
even own a fedora. Freaking poser.
You about to. Sorry, Matt Dillahunty. Sorry, Matt Dillahunty, about to be exposed. It's all over, Matt. Here it comes. Oh! I don't even know how Matt is going to argue with that. Like, if anything proves you were an atheist, that does.
You thought you had a point here, right?
Sankey, you looking all kinds of stupid.
Sankey, you've been humiliated, man. You've been destroyed. You've been destroyed.
Pretty bad here.
Pretty bad. You have been destroyed. I'm not sure if you understand what's happening here, but you have literally been destroyed right here. Your favorite mate, happy Easter, Mr. AP and Mr. Wood. I hope you both had a blessed day. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, your favorite mate. Edsky70. Jesus knows your heart, a posted prophet. Thank you.
Only Matt Dillahunty does.
Oh, yes, you see. AP needs a coexist necklace. That's funny. I should do that. Mother Hulda, favorite Princess Bride quote. What's a Princess Bride quote?
A quote from the film Princess Bride.
What's a Princess
Bride? Great movie.
A Princess Bride.
Awesome movie. Andre the Giant. Mandy Patinkin.
It's a kids movie? Why would I watch a kids movie?
It's not a kids movie.
It literally is a kids movie.
It's not a kids movie, man.
It's
a movie that is good for kids, but that movie is. What are you talking about, man? This straight up killing people in that movie.
So it's
straight up killing people in that movie.
It says age group PG, so it's a kids movie.
Yeah, they have some of the awesomest lines ever in there. Probably for the best, you'd have to go with Vizzini, maybe. And he says, he's bragging about how smart he is. And the guy goes, "You're really that smart?" And he goes, "Put it this way. Have you heard of Socrates, Plato, Aristotle?" He goes, "Yes." And he goes, "Morons." And it's probably super based. That's what atheists sound like.
Yeah. AP stops being an atheist and immediately builds a bookshelf after years of just piling books up on the floor. Really makes you think.
Christianity does have that impact on people.
Powerful. Hey,
hey, you know, to be good, I see you've got Douglas Murray's book right there.
Uh-huh.
You should have one high lit spot for a book, and then people have to pay you to have their book there. You know what I mean,
I thought of that before.
Yeah, like they'll send you and they'll say, "Hey, I'm going to give you a couple $100 a month, and you just have to keep my book right there at all times during your live streams."
I thought of that before.
With an arrow saying, "Buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this."
Send me $500 and I will promote your book for 1 second.
You hear that, Douglas Murray?
Here. Look,
Right
there's plenty
there.
of space here.
Your book could be
It's
there.
like I could push it a little bit further away so I can have it all there. That I can use the spaces up there. Look, you can see Gad Sad's name right up there. Look, it says Gad Sad right there.
Mhm.
Gad Sad. Hey, wait a minute. How do I have a Christian tattoo, but I'm only now becoming a Christian? That doesn't make sense.
That's weird. The proof.
Yeah. So there's plenty of good stuff here. There's Robert Spencer there, who absolutely didn't pay me to put this up there. See? Robert Spencer here, right here, and so on. It's pretty good stuff here. I have Bibles there, and I wasn't paid by the author to promote those.
Hey, dude, you should have like a AP's top 10, like an AP's top 10, and then you've got the top 10 spots for the most important books that people need at that point. But then you can change it over time. You'd be like, oh, this book's moving up to number 1 because what's going on in the world right now. Or, given what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a new book on the top 10 books that everyone needs to read.
Powerful. I see the Ortho Bible. Yes, it's
Orthobro Study Bible.
It's a very powerful study Bible. Is very helpful, very, very helpful. Pretty good, I must say. Maybe I should make a video where I just look at my bookshelf. I just go through all of the shelves. Yeah, say, oh, look at my bookshelf. Look at all the beautiful things I have on this bookshelf here. Look at this. Look at that wonderful thing. Oh, what do we see here? A barely functional Quran. What is that doing here? And so on. That sounds like a good video, man. AP stops. Abraham Harb says that TikTok says Easter is pagan. You have been refuted. Oh, you see. Powerful. Per Simon Stenerson, when is the great debate and on which church is right? There is no such debate. When I get baptized, all churches will unite. Etsky70, the Easter bunny is pagan, not Jesus rising. Powerful. Son of Yah says, hello there. After many years, I, a former heathen, I was born into it. Some days ago, I became a Christian. Thanks a lot, since without you and others, I would not yet truly understand Christianity. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. To David, it doesn't mean a lot, since he doesn't say anything about it. You know, Petsu, AP, Mohammed is tough guy, then Jesus. Look at me, you're finished. Yeah. Itsky, both of you change lives. Jesus inspires. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Man Dude, I saw a debate between Matt and JP where Matt justified his belief that humans have values by saying his ancestors thought they had value. He takes the value of human life as being self-evident, not what a true skeptic would do.
Yeah, I debated him on morality, and his real argument is we just seek the good of other beings by nature. And it's just like, what
define good?
What planet do you live on? What planet do you live on? I mean, we just seek money, we just seek power. What does this have to do with right and wrong? But
define good.
But think about that. It's we just do this by nature. Okay, and then all the moral claims that are associated with that, all these moral obligations we're supposed to follow, somehow derive from that. And it's just like, how are you not skeptical of any of this? Like, how are you not skeptical of any of these moral claims? Then what's the status of them? We're just wired to survive. We're just wired for preserving the species, and these things flow out of it. Okay, great. A lion is wired so that it's when it moves into a new pride, it will kill all the offspring of the new pride to make room for its own offspring. Does that mean it's right because it's wired that way? Anyway, this stuff's just insane. But he won't be skeptical of his own claims. It's weird.
It's wild, bro. It's wild.
Rebecca was 3 years old. The wife.
Hey, wait a minute. Who made this clip? Who posted this?
You
the
did.
Archive. The archive. Let me see. Wait a minute.
He's been posting a lot of our clips lately.
Yeah.
Mange.
This was a good moment here.
Rebecca was 3 years old. The wife of Isaac was 3 years old.
Show me the verse where it says that. If you think this is true, then give me the verse. It takes you 1 second to say it. Give me the verse where it says that.
I don't want to divert the topic. Sorry.
There is no verse. There is no verse. You're lying.
Connor says, Muslim apologist, can you provide the chapter and verse for this claim in the Bible that Rebecca
there
was
you go.
3?
Instead of me going into detail, I would suggest that you go to my channel. I actually discuss this in detail. There are at least 3 videos where I talked about it in detail, where I clearly showed evidence that Rebecca
You did
was
not
3 years
show
old.
evidence.
If you want it now, though, like in the debate.
Okay, where's the Bible verse which says that Rebecca was 3 years old?
I mean, I think it's going to be too long if I were to show that, because it came
Already
it
given
comes
chapter and
from,
verse. It'll be so long.
So what's the Bible verse that says Rebecca was 3
it's not
years old?
derived. It's derived from the Bible verse, but not explicitly. Based on the calculations from the Bible as per the rabbi's calculations.
So the Bible itself does not say it. It's others who say it. Okay, so the Bible does not say it. We have closed the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Menj. And dude, seriously, this really exposes the Dawa guys, because you can point that out to them 1 trillion times. You guys are lying when you say it's in the Bible. You know you're lying when you say it's in the Bible. You know you can't calculate that from the Bible. You know it, and you keep saying it anyway. And who are you saying it about? You're saying it about Abraham and Isaac, because Abraham's the one who sends a guy to get the bride, and if he's going to get a 3-year-old, then that's who you're. And then Isaac has sex with her when she's 3. You guys are accusing people who are prophets, according to the Quran, of being pedophiles who molest 3-year-olds, and you're lying to do it. And you're saying, "Oh, but we have the true religion, and we're the ones who really respect the prophets." These guys are sick, man. That was
this guy's posting some really good.
Whoa,
shorts.
that's some serious. He's cranking out some stuff, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Look at this: 588,000 views.
What?
Of you talking about the avalanche of apostasy.
This guy's cranking out some stuff, man. Everyone check out the archives, putting together some good stuff.
The archive's putting out some real good stuff. Mostly you. I'm sick of looking at David Wood here, man. What is this?
Everyone likes looking at D Wood.
Then we can see Sam Shimoon's nose. Inside Sam Shimoon's nose.
Pagan. Cooked. Pagan.
Look, it points at him and says pagan. You see? Alrighty. Never be embarrassed of Jesus. Imagine day of judgment, thy Lord embarrassed by you before cast in hell. Powerful. Hello Yiddy, hope is real. Hope is indeed real. Thank you, Hello Yiddy. I love Hello Yiddy's name. Let's scribe. If you want to see the transformative power of Christianity and the good it can bring you, you should look up the story of Marseille's plague in 1730. David, what happened in Marseille in 1730?
Well,
I remember.
There's a plague, dang it. What do you think?
Oh, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, that is very powerful. Indeed, I have to say that is pretty powerful. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for bringing this up. Let's grab. Moving on. Misha, Sepulchre worshipped Ezra. Worshipped Ezra. Muslims had to Uthman the church and burn the evidence before saying Nicaea corrupted it. It is revealed the emerald tablets foremostly. Ezra inscribed Jesus is risen. Very powerful. Good point. Johnny, how late am I? I was waiting on David's channel. Oh, yeah. We reversed the days once again because I couldn't go live yesterday. So that's that. Mr. Sans says, what a great week. You have inspired me to tie the knot with all 4 of my girlfriends and make them full muta wives.
Smart.
Hey, nice. Well done, man. Well done. Well done. That's what you should do as a Muslim. Celeria Rosencross, skepticism is a useful tool to re-examine your beliefs and test them for truth, but it is like a cloak. You don't wear it forever, thanks to Cart. Celeria, I have a question. Why do you always send $5.02? Can you tell me the mystery behind this? What are you trying to convey here? I'm curious. Rick Newton, Orthodox is a bit quackers. Just kidding. Domo, the definition of Zionism is now broader and wider than Muhammad Hijab's waistline. Also, congrats on your first Pascha as cat human AP. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate it very, very much. Yeah, foundationally, it still just means supporting the existence of a state for Jews in what is now Israel and preserving its existence. That's it. Some people want to make it about more than that.
What was I supposed to look up about this great plague?
Nothing. Plague in 1730, the transformative power of Christianity and the good it can bring you. You should look up the story of the Marseille plague in 1730.
Well, I'm not getting that from a brief look. So you have this great plague of Marseille, 1720, killed over 100,000 people, 50,000 in the city. During the next 2 years, another 50,000 in the north.
Beast. People dying is beast. I actually wanted to look at a tweet that somebody that I had here on my channel a long time ago made, because I thought it was very, very nicely touching and I could relate to it. Let's see, where is this? Where is this? I went to church today. It says, I went to church today. Went to church today. I went to church today. So, here is the post by Sana Ibrahimi. Sana Ibrahimi, who is an Iranian ex-Muslim, and who herself, as far as I know, is an atheist of sorts. But she posted the following. So she made a post saying, I went to church today for Easter, not because I'm Christian or trying to be. I went out of respect for my boyfriend's family who are. I don't follow any religion, and I don't follow any religion, and I honestly can't see myself ever going back to one. That's what I said too.
Mm-hmm.
The whole message was about love, that God loves you. Jesus loves you. He died for your sins. And sitting there, I couldn't help but compare it to what I grew up with. I practiced Islam until I was 18. I know this is true. There are videos of her and photos of her being all covered up in the black garb. Bitch. And I was religious. I've been to more Islamic ceremonies and events than I can count. And let me tell you, fear is at the core of everything. You are constantly reminded how you will burn in hell if you don't blindly follow what Muhammad said. There is no message of love, no warmth, no compassion, just threats, just control. The Muslim God isn't the merciful one. He's a tyrant, always ready to throw you into hell over the smallest thing. Today just reminded me how deeply I hate Islam. It's a bit hard.
Going to church reminded me of how deeply I hate Islam. That's funny.
Islam is not a religion of peace. It's a religion of fear, hate, and violence.
It's very Islamophobic.
It's very, very based.
Well, yeah, but Islamophobic too.
It's very based. And posted a picture of herself with her boyfriend. And it's got, 1 million views now. And then she posted a photo of the church. Unfortunately, it's not a real church.
Not Eastern Orthodox.
I'm just kidding. It is from church, and it's a pretty base thing to say, you know.
Hang on. I took a picture in church today. I wonder if I should post it like everyone else on social media. Show everyone what a real Protestant church looks like. The true church.
I grew up in Muslim family. I'm Muslim country. Our community was considered moderate, nowhere near what you call extremist. So it's honestly laughable that you, a white man living comfortably in America, think you're qualified to explain my lived experience to me. You read about it, I lived it. This is a good point.
Very good point.
This is really the comparison that I experience, the difference, the contrast that I experience with Christian stuff as opposed to Islamic stuff. Oh boy, she posted another thing about that, which was actually here. Let's see.
Oh, she was responding to Nathan Lean. That dude's like absolute evil scumbag, man.
Oh,
that guy doxed Robert Spencer. Well, he tried to. I got the wrong place and tried to tell Muslims where to go find him. That's Nathan Lean, absolute scumbag.
I felt so deeply sorry for my younger self that I was holding back tears just thinking about the 8-year-old me crying herself to sleep at night, terrified by the vivid graphic descriptions of torture in hell that we are supposedly waiting for sinners, tailored to each specific sin. You'll never fully grasp the level of psychological abuse and hatred that's baked into Islam. Every religion has its extremists, but Islam is a cult where even the so-called moderates cling to deeply harmful practices. There is a very, very interesting contrast here, which is in Islam, I talked about this before, and a long time ago when I made a post about this, some Muslims came along and were like, "Oh, so you're saying you should just be able to drink? So drinking is your issue?" But here's the thing: like in Islam, there are different aspects of explaining why in Christianity something is wrong, for example, and why you shouldn't be doing a certain thing. It is not the Christian way, and so on. In Islam, let's take drinking alcohol, for example. Drinking alcohol is not just taught in Islam to be something that that shouldn't be done because it's not good, that shouldn't be done excessively because it leads to bad things. It is literally the teaching about is simply that it's an evil, filthy thing, and that if you drink it, you will add to sins for which you will be brutally punished in hell. That's it. So it doesn't teach you morality, right? It just teaches you good stuff to get good rewards, and bad stuff for which you will be brutally punished. If you take a sip of alcohol, it can add to a brutal punishment, brutal torture in hellfire. Even if you're a Muslim, it doesn't matter. If you're a Muslim, let's say you drank alcohol, right, and Allah doesn't like it when you die, He will drag you to hell, and you will be brutally tortured for it. You will be brutally tortured for it. You will be burned. You will be beaten. You will be stabbed. You will be skinned alive. And then your skin will be put back on, and you will be burned and burned more and more because you had a drink of alcohol, for example. Because you had a drink of whiskey. Because you had a drink of beer. You had a drink of... Because you ate pork. You will be brutally tortured in hell for it, and so on. You did something good. You did your prayers. Good. Okay. Fantastic. You will get some reward. You will get some good treats. You did something bad, well, boom, torture, torture, torture. That's it. You didn't do your prayers on time, torture, 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 torture. This is the contrast that I feel nowadays. It's like I said, I have been very much doing like prayers in the mornings throughout the day, and the contrast is kind of wild because I'm not doing them because I feel like I'm not doing them because I think, oh, I have to do it. If I don't do it, then I will be punished. Right? I would like Muslims to understand the contrast here. Back then, I would, as a Muslim, I would have to pray, and I would go and do my prayers because I was commanded to pray. And if I didn't pray, this would mean punishment in the hereafter. Nowadays, I pray not because I have to. I don't have to. I do it because I want to do it. And it's so much better than having a set of do's and don'ts for which you will be rewarded with treats or brutally punished. I do it because I want to do it. I do it because I feel like doing it. I pray, I ask, I express regret and so on because I want to do it. It's a very, very different thing from how Christianity, from how Islam treats you. Here you learn to do certain things. Here you do things because you like them, because you want to do them, because you develop a relationship, because you are taught goodness. In this other system called Islam, you are simply a brainless, mindless animal who is just forced to do things or to abstain from certain things. It's a very, no offense, David, but it's a very psychopathic experience in Islam.
I can grant that. It's true.
You see? Alhamdulillah. Beast. Eric Barlow, I know Greeks. Their greetings are swear words. Yes, they are. Greeks are a funny bunch. Abraham Harb preached yesterday on the evidence of Christ's resurrection, going through the solid historical record. In the end, someone still came up and said, yeah, but only Paul talked about the 500 eyewitnesses. I have been refuted. See, but you have been destroyed.
That is true.
That is just the thing. You have been destroyed, you see. Christ is king. Nosotros estamos comiendo los burritos de gato esta noche. What does that mean? We, something, burritos, cat, something, night. What does that mean? Just kidding. Hope everyone had a wonderful Easter. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hope you all had a great Easter. I got called into a 12-hour shift. That's okay. The time has come when God is worshipped in spirit and truth. Thank you, Jeffrey, and all the best to you, and happy Easter to you. We are eating the cat burritos tonight. That's what it means. Okay, good. Jeffrey, recycle Bin Laden. Matt Dillahunty is dogmatic about his humanism, which is also immaterial and invisible, much like the God he attacks. Yet God is a more viable hypothesis. Yeah, even
guys, I've pointed this out many times, but the basic reasoning you would use to dismiss like the existence of God, you could use the exact same reason to dismiss any moral law that you're claiming people have to follow. In other words, if it's well, you can't prove to me that God exists. You only believe that because your parents and your society taught you to believe in that. So you could say the exact same thing about a moral rule, like do not murder. Say the exact same thing. You can't prove that to me. You just believe that because your parents and your society taught you that. You could say the exact same thing. And so what you'll find is that an atheist like Matt Dillahunty applies his skepticism to the thing he doesn't want to believe in and not to the thing that he does want to believe in. And then the skepticism, you alter your level of skepticism depending on whether you want to believe in something or not. And so if you don't want to believe in something like God, you just dial it up to 10. You dial your skepticism up to 10, and it doesn't matter what evidence someone presents. And Matt was even granting even someone being killed in front of him, beheaded, dead and buried, and then appearing to him and giving him miraculous knowledge that he couldn't have possibly known, that would not make him think that anything supernatural has occurred. So what happens? He dials his skepticism level up to 10. And so nothing can compel him to believe anything. If you want to believe in something else, like, oh, I want to believe that there are all these rules and that we can have a functioning society because we can have all these moral obligations too, well, that's no problem. Whenever someone's talking about your moral obligations, just drop your skepticism level down to 1. And how could anyone deny this? What sort of monster would not believe in this? It's so obvious that we have to do all these things. Pretty pathetic. But that's skepticism for you.
Yeah.
The shifting sands of skepticism.
I've created a monster, but nobody wants to see Matt no more.
They want AP. Matt's chopped liver.
Well, if you want AP, that's what I'll give you. Lucas Ordonez says it was mainly online Orthodox, but I could see small parts of it within my own parish, not nearly as much as online, though. Also, I was attending an OCA parish, which was mainly Western converts, which has many Western converts. Yeah, I'm going to a Greek church that is part of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese in America.
You're not even Greek, man.
I know.
You're Turkish, man. That's a double conversion.
It's pretty messed up, right? That I go to a Greek.
Extremely messed up, huh?
I go to a Greek church as a Turkish guy.
You're a double traitor, man.
It's pretty messed up. To be fair, I looked at my my ancestry traces, and it traces me back to some Eastern Anatolian, Armenian, and Greek cultures or something. So
that should be your defense when it's when the Turks are saying, "AP, you have betrayed their people. You have betrayed your people, the Turks." You can say, "What are you talking about? We're all Greek over here. We're all Greek, man. All you Turks are nothing but Greek." Oh, snap.
Most Turks are Greek anyway, man.
Yeah, most Turks are Greek, and that's why you guys should give back all the stuff you stole.
This is why I posted that thing, and the Turks went crazy over it. Wait a minute, I forgot about that.
What did you do?
I forgot about that. That was a month ago. Let me see. I have to remember that.
Oh, that when you were posting like some ancestry thing.
Wow. I forgot how viral that went. This here, when I posted this, Turks when they get their ancestry DNA results.
Why do you do that to people, man? Why do you always have to be so mean to people?
3.6 million views. They went insane over this, man. I was being attacked by all Turkish Twitter. Oh, man.
It's funny because you don't even say anything. Turks when they get their ancestry DNA results. It's like they know what you're talking about. So what if
we're all Greek? Man. But yeah, Lucas. What?
they're expecting to find out they're like part wolf and part otter, and then it just says they're all Greek. And they get
They're expecting to find out we came on here riding on the back of horses, conquering and all the, and then it just points out that they're basically Greeks. Like, no, I don't accept this. This is wrong. I am originally Turkish. I came from those.
This
lands
is
I
Zionist.
fought.
This is big Zionist conspiracy against us.
The Jews own ancestry DNA. Yeah, Lucas. I don't want to bad mouth anyone or any part or any
Too late. You've done it repeatedly.
place, but yeah. I would just I pay no mind to certain people and certain groups that I said before. If I was easily influenced by certain individuals, especially by the online groups, I would have never I would have never gone to Orthodoxy. Number one. I don't. I think that there are problematic people here and there, but I found so much peace and so much goodness in my own in my parish, and I just love it. You know? The foundations and the practices and the traditions are much better than these wannabes online who think they represent the church. It's pretty messed up. Aldegundis, welcome to the kingdom of God, AP. Enjoy your Mr. Gorgy and happy new baby Christian period. The spiritual war needs you. Thank you. Ephraim says, what matters more, being right or condemning others? Condemning others, of course. Man. Why would you want to be right? Just condemn others. That's more important.
Mm-hmm.
It's more base.
Who cares about being right as long as you can condemn
I
others?
don't care about being right. I just want to condemn others, man.
Yeah, I'd rather be wrong.
Yes.
As long as I get to condemn others.
I would rather be right and I would rather be wrong and condemn others. Even if I have to be, even if I can choose between being right and being wrong and condemning others, I would still choose being wrong and condemn others as well. That's what matters. Stephen Dunn, one of the founders of the PLO, was an Orthodox Christian. Was he? It was a secular movement originally, inspired by pretty messed up ideas. Could be. Stephen Dunn, sadly, powerful. The Happy Bunny, as an Orthodox Christian, welcome home, AP. None of these Ortho bros go to church anyway, so don't worry about them. Us real ones are overjoyed for you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is the kind of funny thing that I get from real life, in-person Orthodox Christians as well, in the church. The joke that the people online probably don't go to church.
You know what's funniest about all that though is because you're starting off, you're a catechumen.
Yes.
Eventually you become bishop, then archbishop, then Orthodox Pope.
Of course.
And once you do, you can excommunicate all the Orthobros. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That's the plan.
Like if they're sitting there making fun of you and talking trash, and you're like, okay, yeah, just give me a couple years, and then you become the Pope, and you excommunicate out all of them.
That's the plan, but you shouldn't be saying it like this because I was gonna keep it secret. So.
Okay, everyone, just pretend we did not agree to this.
Okay. Songs of Relief says, love you guys. May God bless your families and keep you safe. AP, your news has made me happy. Nothing better than good news. Peace and joy to you all. He is risen. Thank you so much, Songs of Relief. I appreciate that. Skyscraper Philosopher says, did you visit the garden tomb while there? Not historical, but I found that place more peaceful and solemn. It actually looks like a tomb and garden.
Yeah, we didn't visit the garden tomb while we were there together. I visited the garden tomb when I was there a few years earlier. And I agree. For everyone, the main site for the crucifixion and burial of Jesus is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. There is an alternative theory, and the main thing it has going for it is that the place where Jesus was crucified is called the place of the skull. And right beside this place, there's a giant cliff that looks like a giant skull. In other words, the cliff has features. It has these two like little caves, and it looks like two, like the eye sockets of a skull and stuff like that. So the reasoning, and by the way, there's a tomb right beside it. So it wasn't based on much of anything except that really, really, really looks like a place of a skull there. The tomb, however, does not fit the description because the Bible says it was a freshly cut tomb for Joseph of Arimathea. The tomb that is the garden tomb, it goes back many centuries before that. So it goes back to a much more ancient stage. So it definitely wasn't freshly hewn. I agree with you but it's because the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is like so constantly and densely packed, and because they've pilgrims who are coming to the site would constantly start taking a little piece of the empty tomb. So that's why they had to cover it in marble. So that's why it like looks like a little just marble structure, even though that's covering the remains of the tomb. But the garden tomb still just looks like a tomb. It just looks like a tomb. It doesn't, you don't have all the fancy stuff that was added years later and stuff. So yeah, it looks better and more authentic, but evidence doesn't line up for that being the authentic burial site.
Y'all ain't got them fancy tomb, but they ain't got them over there. Orthodox Easter service in Turkey. I'm kind of, I just want to point out how, look, here's the service in Turkey. Like everywhere else, in Jerusalem and everywhere, it's like in Greece, it's fantastic, huge stuff going on. In Turkey, it seems kind of calm and quiet, not much going on. This has to change. This has to change, which is why I am pledging hereby, once I get baptized, to take back Constantinople.
Yeah, you keep saying it. You just need to do it, man. Don't talk, just do it.
There's my patriarch. Look. What a based guy, man. It's kind of sad, man. It's kind of empty. Like not much going on there in Constantinople. So everybody, you heard it right here. Once I get baptized, I'm taking back Constantinople and giving it back to the Orthodox Church officially, actually, and it will be the capital of the Orthodox Church, and they can reestablish the Byzantine Empire from there. We're doing that when I get baptized, just so you know. That's just so you know. On the other hand, Jerusalem is wild, and look at this.
Hey, we've been all these places, man.
Shout out to Relaxing Walker, who has filmed and published this. Very, very nice. Very nice.
Hey, you see what I'm talking about? Because we're there and there's no one there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the thing. It would be kind of cool to be there for like Easter when it's jam-packed and so on. If you're there to like, kind of explore the site and so on, it's cool when there's no one there. But yeah.
The thing is, right now, especially, going there for Easter is apparently a very difficult thing. They have high regulations in place. They apparently severely limited the number of people they admit into. What they do is, since
we're famous though, dude. What? We are famous.
Since October 7th, they put regulations in place where I think, especially leading up to the weekend on Easter, they put checkpoints in place and only allow a limited number of people to go into the old city. So you have to get permits to actually go into the old city and can't spend the night there and so on. It's pretty. Regulations are wild right now.
What are you talking about? We lived in the old city while we were there.
Yeah, not during Easter.
Oh, that's true.
Mark H says, AP, you mentioned you like hardcore sermons. You should listen to Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God by Edwards in 1741. Can find on YouTube. Did I say I like hardcore sermons? I didn't say that.
I don't recall that.
I like the Divine Liturgy in the Orthodox Church, but it's not really hardcore. It's just very, very, very rich. Emmanuel Christ says, Happy Easter. Any tips for what Islamic sources are best when teaching a Muslim about the Islam they don't know? Where to begin the discussion? This is a Muslim only by name and his family wife. Thank you. Yeah, I would suggest David Wood's book. Oh, sorry, he doesn't have a book.
Go to Answering Islam, answeringislam.org, Pick a topic you're interested in. If you're talking about the Islam your Muslim friends don't know about, the main things you would want them to know about are what it actually teaches about jihad, subjugating unbelievers, killing apostates, those kinds of things. Also, character of Muhammad, his relationship with Aisha, him taking the wife of his own adopted son, those kinds of things. And then if you're getting on kind of a deeper level, you could go Islamic dilemma, get him to understand that his religion actually confirms the previous scriptures that contradict Islam. And in addition to that, maybe some theology on Tawheed, because they're told this is some simple, easy to understand theology, and they have no clue what they're talking about. They have no understanding of how weird this gets. So, yep, check out some of those topics. Those would be the ones that would probably be most helpful.
Yeah, Theodore says, as a social media influencer who's recently gone Christian, I advise AP to avoid disputes between Christians for a few years.
That would be smart.
What do you think I'm doing here, Theodore?
You're declaring war on Orthobros and going out and debating other Christians and saying they're all wrong and you're right. And you've been a Christian, what, since yesterday?
What do you think I'm
yesterday
doing
or today?
I'm explicitly saying I don't want to engage in these fights, and I don't want people to drag me into it.
You've already been fighting.
I don't like the fights.
He doesn't like the fights, but he's ready to fight. Huh?
Yeah.
He didn't come for violence, but if you guys want violence, then there will be blood.
Yes.
No, actually, AP, that is good when people are challenging you or something. That would be like, hey, why don't you let me get settled into the church and then argue with me about these things.
Yeah. Did the last die, says Giovanni Garcia. I agree.
That's the Greek.
I agree. Loaves of Bread TV show FBI honor killings aren't part of Islam. Fox McCloud, Islamic Crusade was far more violent, powerful. Beatrice Nunes, what's up, Beatrice? David Wood, how about a live stream for Christians where they can ask things related to doctrine and the Bible? Happy Easter, guys. David, what's your 2-hour response to this?
Yeah, it's the issue is I'm not the expert on doctrine and things like that. But I have friends who are, like Anthony and stuff like that. So yeah, we could do something like that.
Fox McCloud, the Byzantine Empire, which was Orthodox, requested military aid from Western European Christians. Yes, that is true. However, did the Crusaders honor the military aid in a good way? I don't think they did. They honored it in a pretty messed up way. So,
one more thing for Beatrice. Something Anthony and I used to do like years ago, like maybe 2017, 2018 or something like that. We would invite people ahead of time to submit any questions they have for us. So we'd say, okay, post in the comments or post here or post there, any questions you'd like us to address in the next live stream. That allowed us to kind of pick some questions from like a theme. In other words, a bunch of people are asking questions or something like that, but we kind of pick them to kind of like organize them somehow and stuff like that, instead of just like random ones coming up during a live stream and stuff. But that was kind of a good approach. You might need to get back to that sometime. That was fun.
Very nice. Very nice.
They made for some good early live streams.
Fox McCloud, she's just chilling to get a free ride from Elon. Beatrice Nunes, they faked the moon landing to hide that it was split.
Hey, that would actually be, well, first of all, this is funny. They faked the moon landing to hide that it was split. Yeah. But also the other one that Candace is just faking her skepticism to get a free ride. Like, that's how she should be in her little video. She should be like, and until I see it with my own eyes, I'm not going to believe that space is real. And then she'll get a message from Elon. Fine, I will show you. And then, I got a free ride to space.
Oh, you see. Where was I? The Greek Catholic made a super chat. Thank you so much, Greek Catholic. Ricky DeRocha says, Happy Easter. I'd rather choose the cow over Kenneth Owens. You see, very, very nice. That's what I would do too. Greek Catholic says she read one book and thinks she worked everything out. Token Theology. Clearly the moon landing was faked. Otherwise we would have found the Quakers there. Exactly.
Good point.
What's the joke here? I don't understand. But it's good. Loaves of bread, Buzz Aldrin stronger than old guy that decked hijab. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, or but I mean, hijab could just have a total glass jaw. So We don't know. That the guy who clocked him could have been the weakest guy on the planet, and just his job can't take a punch.
He said decked, not clocked. So, Fox McCloud, if faked, then why did Russia admit it also, which was faked the moon land, which was faked the moon landing in 1969 or the other 5 moon landings, because Russia was, of course, in on it. Man, you have to think more complicated.
Conspiracies are bigger than you realize.
Russia also wanted to get there, and if Russia admitted that that America faked it, then they would also cast doubt on their own faking of the moon landing, and then the same thing, of course, happened with all the others that sent, that sent things to the vessels to the moon. They all were in on it, and they all are in a satanic cult to urinate upon one another. So they had to hide the fact that the first one is fake. So this is basically what they all do, In fact, every single person, all thousands of people who were involved in the moon landings, all are in on it. They are all part of a secret cult, including janitors, and they all are hiding it from us. Bridget says, I watched a video interview by Doron Kedar about the plight of Christians in Nazareth at the hands of Palestinians. An IDF Christian commander refuted claims by Tucker Carlson of Christians being persecuted by Jews. Yeah, but they must be lying if they don't agree with Tucker Carlson, so... It's pretty obvious.
And we know he speaks the truth because he was very impressed by shopping cart escalators in Russia. And even more so, huge defender of Andrew Tate. So he's good.
I saw something satisfying earlier today where Tucker Carlson is now being attacked by the Groypers, and I just feel very happy seeing the two mentally underdeveloped sides fighting with each other. But yeah, so I know about that as well. And there's also, as said, there is a constant threat to Christians in territories where the other side, where the Islamic side tends to be very violent. So anything that comes out of the Palestinian Christian side, take it with a grain of salt. I saw this here today by little Mexican Nazi Nick Fuentes. He said, why is Tucker interviewing Conor McGregor in a Masonic lodge? And then there's a picture of Tucker Carlson interviewing Conor McGregor in a Masonic lodge right here. And they're going crazy about it. They're attacking him now because of this video, where they're obviously sitting in a Masonic lodge. The Groypers are attacking him now. It's so funny, man. They're fighting each other.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Her husband is there to keep her off the deep end. I'm pretty sure that her husband is even worse than her. Byzantine warrior, God arises, his enemies are scattered, and those who hate him flee his presence. Psalm of David, Christ is risen, AP and David. Alhamdulillah. Powerfully said. Giovanni Garcia, what's funny is that she has to do all this weird tracking to find that one irrelevant guy with extremely loose ties, when she could have just made a better conspiracy with Operation Paperclip. No, you're missing the point here, Giovanni. What she's actually doing is she's looking at her comment section and picking up what somebody said and then saying it on her show as if it was a historical fact. She doesn't even look for these for these connections. Holy Joe, funny thing is that a neo-Nazi on Stormfront would get angry over her denial of the moon landing due to Werner von Braun. Candace is cuckoo. Very, very much true. Funny thing is, Candace's husband is fake and gay. I know. We know it is.
Definitely think so.
Funny thing is, Jack Ray gifted 20 membership. Thank you so much, Jack Ray. Appreciate that. Blue Whale gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Fox McCloud, AP Bookshelf is fake and gay. Very, very much so. Mosh, what's up, Mosh? I gotta say, forcing us all to see this demon spitting out her usual it's a fact was something that can probably make us all eligible for SC checks. Very, very much. Very, very much so. Yeah. Jack Ray, is it just me or did AP have an empty background as an atheist and agnostic, but now as a Christian, his cup runneth over? Yes, my cup runneth over indeed. Smokeless choice. David would do the Alidawa voice. Hilarious.
And we're proud of that.
Mother Holla, did you see any of the debates on MD 12-hour stream? I haven't seen any of that. But David has probably seen it, so.
I saw that he had something that was like said 12 hours. I thought he was just replaying old debates for 12 hours.
No, he actually had a 12-hour debate thing going on.
He had a 12-hour debate marathon?
Yeah. Romology, AP, you should have said, I wish Christianity wasn't true. Then you would be a true atheist. Happy Easter, guys. Christ is risen. Thank you. Celeria, death cannot stop true love, the Princess Bride. That sounds pretty gay. Hey, Celeria, I have a question. Why do you always make super chats that are $2.05?
What's wrong with that?
Giovanni, David, in church today and was reading my Bible when I came across Luke 11:24, and I thought, what if this happened to Mo? An evil spirit looking for rest in the desert found him after it didn't go back to its OG host because he was saved.
That's true. Does seem. Nope, I've been saying for years, if you got someone like Muhammad who's claiming to be a prophet, you got three main options. One, he's actually a prophet, and so you should believe in him if he's actually a prophet. Two, he's getting his revelations from his own mind or his surroundings, and that could be either intentional or not intentional. In other words, you could know that you're making things up, or you could have mental problems and think that you're right. But then you can have something demonic. You can have something demonic going on. And I think you have a really good case for some of Muhammad's teachings to have a purely human origin. You have a good case that some of this is demonic, and you have no good case at all that any of this comes from God, except for what he stole from Jews and Christians.
I'll give you two good options. Let us see. Let us see.
Let us see. Let us see.
Any news going on right now? Easter Doges. Coachella says free Palestine.
Oh yeah, thought about making a video about that. It's just that the irony there is they're having this big concert, and they're taking the Hamas side when Hamas is the one that went and killed a bunch of people at a concert. That's the irony.
Prime Minister of Israel says, Happy Easter to all our Christian citizens and Christian believers worldwide. Many thanks to the Israeli border police officers for securing the worshippers of the Holy Fire ceremony at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem today. Based. He who leaves his atheistic religion, kill him. Sunan Abu Dawkins, 1245. Good stuff going on. Easter, Christian Killian, not Easter. AP Dave, either of you know the Orthodox Muslim? A lot of Muslims follow him also. Any thoughts on Charlie Kirk if you know him? Yes, David and I are actually going to debate the Orthodox Muslim.
Are we?
Sometime in the near future. So what happened is that the Orthodox Muslim, I actually initially challenged him to a debate about is Islam true or not, and he said, "Oh, I can't do that right now." And then later he came around and said that he challenges David and me to a debate about Tawheed and Trinity. So I said to him,
"That'd be a 2-on-2. Who's his partner?"
I said to him, I accept your debate challenge on the condition that you and I first debate, is Islam true? And I know that David will accept it too. I already accepted on his behalf, I said. So we thereby, you're probably only finding this out right now, David, but we are debating.
I just want to add to the mix because I didn't know who this guy was, but the Orthodox Muslim has a video with me in it. It's got me, God Logic, Sam Shamoon, and Avery, God Logic, all on there. Testify. So Testify, God Logic, Sam Shamoon, and me all on there. And it's called The Islamic Dilemma Answered. So let's add that one. That could just be a one-on-one Orthodox Muslim. But notice you'll have three debates. We'll do 3 debates. One on the Trinity versus Tawheed. One on whether, what'd you say, is Islam true or is Muhammad a true prophet or whatever?
Yeah, is Islam true?
And then one on the Islamic dilemma. So 3 debates that will be action-packed. And if you can humiliate us, you can be catapulted into legendary status in the Dawa world because things aren't going very well for your current da'is. They're kind of crumbling like cookies, like little cookies.
Look at this.
What?
Very, very dishonest, man.
Who?
I never looked at this guy's channel. So this is the guy, Orthodox
Muslim?
Yeah, and
what,
so
a dishonest Dawa guy? I don't believe it.
Look, the thumbnail here is what is Injil, and it has Avery here and points at him. And it says arrogant Christian finds out what the Injil is, and it points at him. Like Avery has nothing to do with this video. He's just talking to some random person.
Oh, he's just putting him on there to make it look like he's responding to him?
Yeah, and with an arrow on him.
Oh, look, there he is right there at the beginning. So you were wrong.
and they jump up and down and they ask, "What's the Injil?"
What's the Injil? What's the Injil? What's the Injil? What's the Injil? What's the Injil?
And to
Beautiful.
them I respond, we have the Injil. Verify what?
And then the rest of the whole video is just him arguing with somebody, with some anonymous person. That's it.
Like a clip from a live stream or something?
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Orthodox Muslim, you got to give people what you want. This is borderline clickbait. You're clicking people on there to get them to think that you're responding to one thing, and then you're just posting a live stream clip. You can do that, but it hurts what's called your channel trust. In other words, they're not going to trust you as much the next time you post something and act like you're responding to somebody.
It is. He uses AI pictures of women and then blurs their hair. So ridiculous, man.
I blurred her hair so Muslims don't get a boner while looking at her hair.
Because when I made the video, when I made the photo, when I made the AI image, I got a boner immediately.
If I saw blonde hair, and immediately I pitched a tent in my pants, so I had to pixelate her hair so I don't keep getting a boner.
You're gonna love debating us, dude.
He said, since Mr. 5.5 didn't want to step up to the big boy playground, here's a formal challenge to David Wood and Apostate Prophet. 2-on-2 Tawheed versus Trinity. Dean responds, and I are ready when you are. Who is Dean responds?
Oh, no, that's the channel I'm addressing tomorrow. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know they were buddies. Okay, that's cool. No, that's cool. Dean Responds is another Muslim apologetics channel. I'm not familiar with them, but Dean Responds had also respond. Oh, matter of fact, we could have a 2-on-2 then. We could have a 2-on-2. Whatever you guys prefer. Since Dean Responds also responds to the Islamic dilemma, which is why we're going over his video tomorrow at 5 p.m. Chris from Speaker's Corner, Jai and DOC, and Testify, because he responded to Testify's version of the Islamic dilemma. So we're going to be live at 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, going through Dean Responds video. But that's interesting. If they're buddies, then yeah, this all works out. Anyway, we have accepted the challenge, but we've transformed it into 3 debates, not one.
So Deez responds and Orthodox Muslim against me.
Deez responds. Deez Nuts responds
against David and me. I told him you were already challenged to debate to a debate on is Islam true. I accept your challenge, and I'm sure David will accept it too, under the condition that we debate this first on Modern Day Debate. Sure, we're fine with that. Both debates have to be on consecutive days.
Works for me. We'll do 3. We'll do 3. Well, I mean, we have to verify with Modern Day Debate that he can have 3 consecutive days of debates. But yeah, I made it 3. So you guys were talking about stuff behind my back, and you guys agreed to 2 debates. Since I'm tossed up into the mix, now we agree to 3 debates. That should be no problem, because both of you guys make responses to the Islamic dilemma. So you're already prepared.
Yeah, take advice from this guy.
Don't forget to ask Ridwan how many rak'ah in wudu.
Yeah, that would be so powerful.
Yeah, so this is coming up, I guess. I don't know when and where. I got an email from this guy. I also got some communication from James, but I haven't really checked because I was too busy the last few days, so I don't really know where we are in the negotiation.
Oh, we also need to find out from James.
That's true.
I challenged, unbeknownst to you, but I messaged you and told you, unbeknownst to you, I challenged Jai and DOC to a 2-on-2 debate on the topic Muhammad Hijab versus Sheikh Uthman. Who's the most evil? Because they believe Sheikh Uthman is more evil, but we're going to defend the position that Muhammad Hijab is more evil. And James from Modern Day Debate agreed to host that. So that'll just be us blasting away at Muhammad Hijab, and then Jai and DOC are like, okay, yeah, Muhammad Hijab definitely evil, all that stuff, but he's nothing compared to Sheikh Uthman. And then they go down there, and then we'll say, yeah, okay, Sheikh Uthman definitely evil scumbag, but compared to Muhammad Hijab, Sheikh Uthman is a saint. And then we go through more stuff about Muhammad Hijab. It'll be funny. Yeah, it's going to be funny and classic.
I'm pretty sure that it's pretty easy to prove that Muhammad Hijab is the most worstest. So, yeah. G.A., I took my Turkish atheist friend to church today. He criticized it. Was there any good in inviting him? He also is upset I criticize Islam. Oh, they can. You tried it. You tried your best. That's it. What do you say, David?
Take him to a Baptist church.
Yeah. But
I would point out, I'd say, hey, why you criticize stuff and yet I can't criticize Islam? Make up your mind.
Nurse loves coffee. If a Muslim man marries a woman with multiple personality disorder, does she take up more than one wife slot? Yes. And if she actually has if she has more than 4 personalities, then they have to divorce.
Yep. A woman with more than 4 personalities cannot get married.
Yeah.
This is sort of stuff that would be a good little skit.
Yeah. Drew Traver, space aliens don't want us to know they exist. Kenneth Owens doesn't want us to know space exists. Coincidence? I'm just asking questions. Exactly.
That's a good point.
Ruth 116. David, what does Ruth 116 say? You know it all from memory. Dance break, YouTube, he got up song. Powerful. Celeria Rosencraw. 502 adds to 7 digital wise. I like 3, 7, and 9.
So it's a numbers cult. It's a numbers cult.
So this is your new thing. It's 2.
Yeah, but
7 is 9.
But all kinds of things would add up to 7. For instance, that could have been 2.05.
Nice. Hello, AP. You are the reason why I left Islam, said Soxa. Very, very based. I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you. And I hope that your life is better this way.
You didn't leave Islam. Islam left you.
Mosh Cohen, by the way, David, with a follow-up from yesterday, he bought the Seeking Muhammad, Finding Jesus, and he's looking for the church you described that he's ex-Muslim. Cheers.
Hey, in the Christian quarter of the old city of Jerusalem, there are a number of places that sell things. Find the coin shops. Find the ones that are selling coins. There can't be more than a couple of them, and just go start asking around there. Say, hey, is there someone in here who mentioned a church that has ex-Muslims? Because I know there was. I was there.
Wow, nice. Hey, Mosh, why is this super Jew here cheering on somebody becoming a Christian?
Oh, because he's trying to infiltrate us to destroy us.
Always happy to see you here, Mosh.
No, but I mean, keep in mind, isn't this is there's a Jewish guy in Israel, and he's constantly going around and posting those little what are those codes? Those that you scan?
QR codes.
Yeah, he's constantly putting codes that link to our videos all over the place. And then yesterday he's asking about an ex-Muslim friend who had become a Christian, and how can this guy, get involved in church and stuff like that. And it's like, this is kind of the typical Jewish reaction we get. There are exceptions, but this is like the main reaction we get to this sort of thing. And then we're hearing from all the Orthob bros, no, they're all trying to destroy Christianity. That's what they're doing.
It'd be funny if Mosh now said, guys, I'm actually a Christian.
Oh, your face.
John the Presbyter left church early today because people wouldn't stop talking and couldn't hear the priest, was getting angry. Now, do I now deserve to get stoned? No, yes. I'm pretty obvious.
You should have jumped up and been like, I am John the Presbyter.
Dean Savage. The thing is, I also easily get annoyed when I hear too much sound and I can't hear what I'm listening to. I think that many of us could do good at tolerating that a little bit more. And I speak here to myself foremost, I gotta say. Dean Savage, what kind of a freaking currency is this? What is this? What's going on here? I've never seen this current. What is this? What the heck is this? What is this currency, man?
It's 249,000 Indonesian hikmas.
But does anybody know what kind of currency this is? I've never seen this in my life.
Just cut and paste it into a search, man. What do you care?
Because I want to find out. I want to know.
I have to know, or else I will be destroyed.
I want to know what kind of thing this is. What is this? Never seen this before. It looks very strange on my screen. Is this just on my screen? Does it actually look different here? I don't know. I'm obsessed with finding out what kind of currencies these things are. That's it. La 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 la. Never seen it. Never seen it. Never seen it. Interesting. Okay, we'll find out later. Romology.
No, I'm going to find
wait a
out
minute.
now since you're
Wait a
obsessed.
minute.
with it.
I didn't even read the question. Genuine question: is there or has there ever been a belief as systematically wicked and effective at preying on the vulnerabilities of human beings as Islam in all of history? Also, happy Easter. Thank you very, very much. I mean, I would say that there have probably been historically certain ideologies and certain ideas and movements that have been technically worse. I mean, I couldn't say that. I wouldn't be able to say that Islam is definitely the worst, but it is the most.
You want to know this currency, man?
What is it?
The name of the currency is the dong, right? So that's 249,000 Vietnamese dongs.
That's Vietnamese?
It's Vietnamese dongs.
Oh.
VND, Vietnamese dongs.
Okay, it was all very simple. I could have just copied it and Googled it like this.
I just cut it and then pasted it into Google.
Now I find it like
the currency code for Vietnamese
like
dongs.
So you donated literally 249,000 Vietnamese dongs to
Thank you. We appreciate all the Vietnamese dongs that have been sent during this live stream. Oh boy.
It's very inappropriate. Dude.
Extremely. But it's funny.
But Islam is definitely one of the worst and most effective here. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but seriously, all you Vietnamese, everyone out there, you need to change the name of your currency because it means something else in different languages.
Romology. Listen to Easter song by Keith Green. He was great.
It's like if your currency was the Bulgarian boobies or something like that, we'd be like, you need to change your name. It's just every time someone's talking about it, it's going to make people giggle. And so you just need to change it over time.
Nice. AP is returning to Byzantium. Yes. No, I'm returning Byzantium too. I'm returning Byzantium to Byzantium. I'm taking Constantinople and giving it back to the Greeks, to the Orthodox Church, so that they can recreate a new Byzantine Empire. That's it. That's what I'm doing. When I get baptized, that's what I'm doing.
It's like if your currency was the Sudanese nutsacks or something like that. It may make perfect sense in that language, but we have to object and say you need to change the name of currency if you want to be taken seriously on the world stage.
What's your problem with a sack of nuts? Peace be upon me. Said Happy Easter.
Nothing.
AP
How is he gonna feed squirrels?
Happy Easter, Associated Press and Daily Wire. Hope you guys had a good Easter. May Lord Jesus bless you both and guide you and protect you always. Happy for you, AP. Islam is gay, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Now, if anything's fake and gay, Candace, it's Islam.
Oh, rudder. If it helps at all, the Eastern Orthodox Church talks smacks about Catholicism and Protestantism too, proclaiming the distinctive of both anathema.
Then they will be humiliated.
Yeah, I would say that things have come to be very, very cool today. Very, very cool, depending on what kind of where you look at the church. John the Presbyter, AP, did you hear the Turkish German on God Logic who wants to come to Christ? I haven't heard anything like that. Wasn't me.
Yeah,
Jack Ray.
How's there a Turkish German and he's not talking to you?
I don't know. I thought we all know each other. Jack Ray, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You have chosen wisely.
Yep. You ever see that, AP?
No. I've never seen a single Indiana Jones second.
Tell you the scene. They actually find where the Holy Grail is, the cup that Jesus drank from out of the when he passed around at the Last Supper, and so this will grant immortality. They find it, and there's all these different cups there, and they're all like, you got a bunch of them that are like gold and ornate with jewels and stuff like this, and the dumb Nazi has to pick one. And he picks the most beautiful cup. And he drinks out of it and dies. And then Indiana Jones turns and looks and he picks the simplest, plainest cup. And he says, that looks like a carpenter's cup, and grabs it and drinks out of it. And there's a knight standing there, knight who's centuries old. And he says, you have chosen wisely.
Nice.
It's a cool meaning, right? It's like, don't go with the most beautiful, ornate thing that doesn't use some common sense. What would a first century carpenter be drinking out of?
Is that where people got the idea that the Holy Grail is actually something that is real and that at some point existed or something?
No, that sort of thing goes back, but Steven Spielberg made a movie out of it, one of his Indiana Jones movies. You never saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first one? That's like legend. I mean, that's like one of the great. That's probably my favorite movie of all time, with the possible exception of Mad
The only
Max.
thing that I've ever saw, the only thing I've ever seen from Indiana Jones is that one scene with Kali Mad. When I looked at that, I thought,
You watched the dumbest one until the new ones?
I didn't watch it. I only saw the scene because I thought, what the heck?
Dude, in the first one, they find the Ark of the Covenant. They find the Ark of the Covenant, and they're trying to keep it away from Nazis who want to weaponize the Ark of the Covenant. And then, but it's awesome. Again, either my favorite or second favorite movie of all time. But then you get, and then the second one, it deals with the stuff in India with Hindu stuff. And then the third one is The Last Crusade, and they're looking for the Holy Grail.
That's funny.
Anyway, point is, those are two awesome movies.
I know that I thought that I should watch those if I want to become an American citizen, but they didn't ask me about them, so I didn't watch them.
You will love both of those movies. The Indian one, it's not even that it was dealing with Indian stuff and not cool, Ark of the Covenant and Holy Grail type stuff. It's just the special effects seem worse, and like the chases and stuff. The special effects just seem worse in the second one. I don't know why, but just wasn't as good a movie.
This stream turned into a stereotypical American live stream here. So. Abraham Harbour, apostate prophet is an anagram for pastor hate the Pope. Might be the career path for you. Oh, no. Mother Hulda, happy 1992nd anniversary of John beating Peter. Powerful. Nice. Tarun Touch says, get your free vegan Easter eggs and have a really good vegan Pascha with soy milk instead of cow milk to make the chocolate syrup for the eggs. Besila Belisarius Varelinsky says, is it weird that you guys are from different Christian denominations? Like, do any of you ever hold your tongue to not spark a spicy disagreement? Yeah, as very, very long-term friends who are of different Christian denominations, we do sometimes abstain from offending each other.
We're just not as obsessed with the denominational stuff as some.
We were both a Christian and an atheist for the longest time, so and I don't have any problems with interdenominational stuff at all. Malkov Black, Crusade, Deus Vult. Let's do it right now. God bless you, AP. I prayed you turn to Jesus. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. It helped. Caleb Worku, imagine what Pascha DL inside Hagia Sophia was like. That must have been awesome, man. Trey Goins says, Happy Easter, guys. I didn't go to church today, and honestly, I found it hard to go ever since my grandfather died. The constant questions and sympathy put me off going because I've been fine since the week after. Any advice? Just take it and go. Or maybe go to a different one. I don't know. What do you say, David? I don't have any advice on this. I'm not very experienced. David, what do you say?
No, I was doing a little research on the claim that Pastor Hate the Pope is an anagram for apostate prophet, and I checked it, and no, it's not. One apostate prophet has 15 letters. Pastor Hate the Pope has 17 letters. You don't even have the correct number of letters there. So I don't even need to investigate and see if the letters actually match up. I'm just pointing that out. What? What? Someone had to investigate that. You're just going to believe it? See? He's sitting there laughing, and I'm the skeptic here. Who was skeptical of that claim and actually investigated it?
That was the most important thing I've ever done. Thank you. What's your advice here?
Hey, look, if you're saying I didn't go to church today, and honestly, I found it hard to go ever since my grandfather died, the constant questions and sympathy put me off going because I've been fine since the week after. Any advice? Yeah, I have to say, Trey, welcome to my world, because that's sort of the thing where, someone will die and then everyone wants to try and express their sympathy and so on. And, I was fine right when it happened because I don't have normal emotional reactions to that sort of stuff. And so it's like people who are trying to comfort me are kind of wasting their time. What you have to do is recognize they mean well, right? They're not trying to annoy you even slightly, right? They're doing what is normal to do. In other words, if you're fine really quick after something bad happened, you're kind of the abnormal one. They're doing what's normal. With that said, if it actually bothers you, hey, take a couple weeks off, man. Take a couple weeks off. You'll be okay.
And yeah, or you could go to church with a sticker on your forehead that says, "Don't ask me about my grandfather."
Do that too. Say, you can actually go to church and have a shirt on that says, "If anyone says one word about my grandfather, I'm becoming Muslim."
Yeah, there you go. Giovanni Garcia, today I woke up and there were 2 pigeons perched on my window. That has never happened before. They aren't doves, but they are directly related. This is very, very insignificant stuff. David, how do you interpret this?
That's interesting. The 2 pigeons. Completely different context. I was using two pigeons in my head as an example of something that's like, is it a coincidence? But
Hunter Verdon said, "Happy Easter." Thank you.
AP in New
Jonathan
York.
Romero said,
In New
"Jizzy."
York. In New
Thank you,
York.
Jizzy.
I drive all around New York all the time. I've
Happy
only
Easter.
hit 2 pigeons ever while driving, and it happened on the same day in 2
Grand
completely
Hardy.
different parts of the city. 2 pigeons. I'm in the Bronx and I'm driving and I hit a pigeon. Boom, feathers go everywhere. It's like, what the heck is that? I've never hit a pigeon before. Then I'm down in Queens picking up my kid and I hit a pigeon. Boom, feathers go everywhere. And I'm thinking, what are the odds? Well, it's just the odds are very small, but it's a coincidence at the end of the day. There's no point to it. And so anyway, 2 pigeons. Is it coincidence or is there something significant?
Something like that happened to me when I was a teenager and I was riding my bike and I was riding and I accidentally swallowed a fly or something while I was riding the bike. And then on the same day it happened again later on where I swallowed another fly. And since that day I have been eating flies.
Well, that's dumb. See, you're supposed later in the day you're supposed to eat a spider to go get the fly.
That's a good point. Seeking Islam, finding goat. Seeking goat, finding child bride. Wait, did you guys answer to my previous answers? No.
Yes, we did. We reject veganism. Thank you.
Larry Rosencrow. Oh, I also sent in a 4870 to Dr. Wood for his birthday. Oh, you did? That makes sense.
Correct numbers. Good numbers.
That's pretty nerdy. Ham says, "Hello, lost another one. Jesus loves you, AP."
Hell lost another one.
Hell lost another
That's
one.
what's really enraging Matt Dillahunty, servant of Satan.
That's good. Taro and Judge, I'm going vegan soon. The goat meat will identify as lettuce, my eggs as tofu, and the chicken will have grass pronouns. That's good.
Hey, that would actually be a funny video, claiming that you're vegan, but you're sitting here eating all this meat and just talking about how this steak identifies as vegetables.
That's pretty good.
That would be a funny video.
Grant Hardy, APC, you still debating Andrew Wilson? Yes, I am. I am debating him, and I'm going to humiliate him.
Andrew Wilson is going to be humiliated.
Andrew Wilson will never show his face again after that debate.
He's not. He's going to have to retire because the Orthob bros are going to turn on him.
The funny thing is, it's not really a debate that I feel terribly, like when I debate Muslims on different topics, it's like I feel like, oh yeah, good stuff. We're gonna do good stuff with this. With the whole Andrew Wilson debate, it's like I don't know. I agreed to it at a time where I was more adamant to accept such debates. Because he was kind of pushing me to accept the debate, so I just did. Right now, I feel like I don't know. I don't really want to like go there and fight with a guy about Israel.
Well, I'm going to be there, so if there's a fight, they're going to lose.
But it will be a good debate because I'm going to have some good stuff to say. And I don't go around telling Christians that they should be supporting Israel. But since you want to challenge me on the debate, I think on that day I'm going to make a case that Christians should support Israel.
Yeah, he's claiming that it's wrong for you to support Israel.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's stupid, I think.
And I'm going to go there. And for that one day, I'm going to tell people that Christians should be supporting Israel.
And
that's what you get.
And
that's what you get.
For anyone who objects, you'll have Andrew Wilson to thank for getting him to say
yes. Abraham Harp, David Wood is an anagram for skeptic. It is?
That's funny. That's funny. It has almost none of the same letters. Mike Winger is an anagram for super mega base. Hey, yesterday someone was saying I should challenge Mike Winger to Mubahala, so I'm going to make a video challenging Mike Winger to Mubahala.
And you could show, as an example, to explain what a mubahala is, you could show the part where I do a mubahala with Ali Dawa.
Yeah, I'll have a bunch of the mubahala clips on there like that, and I'll of course be acting like Muhammad Hijab when I'm challenging him.
Yeah. Joseph Smith and Brigham Young taught that men dressed as Quakers live on the moon.
Oh.
Really? That's a thing?
Well, since men have never been there to find out, we wouldn't know to be able to say it's wrong.
Christina, do you think many Muslims are aware of what's happening with apostasy, or is this mostly limited to a small online group? They are very much aware. It has been making its rounds in Muslim countries as well, with Muslim preachers and all that expressing and saying that there are too many people who leave Islam and people are turning away from the faith and so on. And it is very much going around in the Muslim world as well by now. It wasn't so like a decade ago. It wasn't so 2 decades ago. It was actually unthinkable, but it has very much become more and more common to know that people are turning away from Islam. And of course, this is blamed on, I don't know, corruption or corruption by the West. Israel and Jews, of course, always has to be in the mix of those responsible for bad things. But it is very much going around, yeah. Bo Rudder, David, can you please retell the story about the guy who became a Christian after a Muslim Dawa guy mocked him? David, what's your 2-minute response to this?
What story? Please retell the story about the guy who became a Christian after a Muslim Dawa guy mocked it. Mocked what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Mocked him. Celeria says, oh, and shout out to Defending a Lion, who another YouTuber in the ID group who convinced me to finally add a profile pic and to customize my homepage. Shout out to Defending a Lion. V says, long time no super chat. Had a quick question for you both. Do you think Islam wouldn't be violent if Mo wasn't involved? Would it always have been violent?
If Mo wasn't involved, there wouldn't have been Islam. So I don't.
There wouldn't be Islam. Muhammad is what Muhammad's fantasies and his sickness are what created Islam.
He's sick.
Setharian said,
You're sick. You're sick.
David Wood or Associated Press, have you guys read Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future by Seraphim Rose? Pretty intense book. Do recommend. Happy Easter. I know that some people have very strong opinions on that book, and some people say it's the best thing they've ever read, and some people say, no, you shouldn't read it. And I know that Father Seraphim Rose is a very respected figure, but also in a way divisive. I personally haven't read it. Pretty sure that my wife has at least partially read or listened to it or something. She's probably here to tell you. David, have you ever heard of Seraphim Rose or the book?
No, but I've read Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton and can vouch for the awesomeness of that one.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. Seraphim Rose is a very, especially in the online sphere, very popular Orthodox guy. Giovanni Garcia, the night before I prayed to the Holy Spirit for a sign, it hasn't left me, and I woke up today. On Easter, with 2 pigeons perched on my window looking in, the witness and the Holy Spirit. There you go. Meanwhile, David's stabbing himself in the face while reading this.
No, it's just good for scratching. What?
What's wrong with you? David, what do you think about this?
No, don't know.
David says he doesn't know. Giovanni Garcia Mo, thou shalt covet your neighbor's goat.
Agreed. They put it agreed upon.
Moshko and LL David are trying to get him whacked. I'm doing this for him. He'll get recognized in a second. And guys, I'm converting Muslims to Christians for 4 years now.
4 years now. Mosh, you can go. There can't be that. The Christian quarter of Jerusalem is not a big place. Find the coin shops and the antiquities and stuff like that. And go ask around and just ask. Say, hey, I heard someone around here knows about a church with some ex-Muslims or something like that.
That's funny.
And he'll be like, what? You're a Jew. We're not trusting you.
That's funny. I said it forever. If all the Muslims there converted to Christianity, the conflict would probably turn very, very different. most definitely much less bloody. Because guess what? The Christians are not the ones who are causing all the trouble there. Dean Savage, just forcing a few more dongs into your life because it's Easter. Sent 129,000 dongs over here. Which is, by the way, only $5. Like, you can buy 129,000 dongs for $5. Can you imagine that? Peace be upon me. Ya Muslim. Ya Muslim. Ashhadu an la ilaha the only Lord. Wa ashhadu anna Isa is the God. David, can you do the Russian accent? It will be an end year for Da'wah.
It will be an end year for Dawah. This is wonderful. Guys, this is going to be a bad year. And it's so funny. Our end of the year live stream we were pointing out how bad 2024 was for Dawah. They all seem to just crumble. And then we made predictions about 2025. Everyone agreed that 2025 was going to be worse. And then pretty early on, I made a video about why Christians should be excited about 2025 because a bunch of things are just lining up. Looks like it would be a year for Islam to crumble, the new atheism to crumble, and for a revival in Christianity, Christian lands, and so on. And I think that's happening.
That's a powerful thing.
Here we go.
Man, Dillahunt is right. AP is fake and gay. How do you not know Indiana Jones movies?
That's a good point. It's got a point. And Princess Bride. I'm starting to think Matt Dillahunty has a point about you.
Powerful. Joseph said, AP, very exciting to see you slowly become a Christian. Many have been praying for you for a lot of time. Much love and God bless you, brother. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Yeah, and everyone remember every time for all these years, people would say, hey, I'm praying for you. And he'd be like, shut up! Don't pray, don't waste your time talking to your sky daddy.
Sky daddy, I'm blocking you now. How dare you?
Rick Newton, you see the proof. David is a foul bird killer. Feather turns into leather. Momo's feather straps in because he's light on straps. Oh, that's nice. Timothy Freeman, all of the Orthodox Greek Orthogarden hoes are disunity and constantly at each other's necks, whilst the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church remains strong and true under Christ and Peter. That's not true. That's not true. There is great unity in the Greek Orthodox Church. There is some. I don't want to bring this up now, man. There's some discrepancy between two sides in the Orthodox Church, but they are still pretty much in agreement with each other. There's some political stuff going on between two sides in the Orthodox Church, but especially not among the Greek Orthodox themselves. They're pretty cool. I love them. Rosa, on destruction, Catholics destroyed Hindu temples and committed barbaric atrocities on Hindus in Goa Inquisition. What's better than today for Christians' church to reflect and apologize? No intentions so far. I'm not entirely sure about the history of it, but I don't think that anyone needs to apologize for anything that happened in the past as long as they don't do stuff like that today, right? I don't know. Ball Rudder, David Wood, the Muslim guy shared the gospel, mocked it, and the guy accepted Christ. You told the story back in your ABN days. Funniest story I ever read.
Oh yeah, that was an atheist. So an atheist was friends with a Muslim, and the Muslim was making fun of Christianity, which caused the atheist to look into the claims, and then he ended up becoming a Christian. I just looked it up. I found the clip on someone else's site. I had it on my channel, but I gave that channel away and took down most of the videos. But I looked up on someone else's site. They have it. So I'll go ahead and share that right now for anyone who wants to check this out afterwards. Atheist becomes a Christian after Muslim mocks Christianity. And that's a clip from ABN right there. Now you got it.
Banning local customs. What about? Let's see.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Okay. So I'm not sure why you bring up the Goa Inquisition, because
why wouldn't someone bring up the Goa Inquisition?
Like, it resulted apparently in the persecution of like a handful of people, hundreds of people. Yeah, interesting stuff. Tyrone Corbett says, "Hi, I'm Tyrone. I identify as a vegan, even though I have none of the necessary traits. I'm a non-practicing vegan. You're right. My TikTok channel has millions of views cooking meat, yet identifying as a vegan."
Smart.
That's pretty good, man.
Smart and based.
Seems like a good track record right there.
That's how you do it. That's what they do.
That's what they do, you see. Anything else, David?
Nope. Just I'll be live at 5 tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Live at 5 because we have European on with us.
Because
European.
it rhymes.
I'm a European.
Why are you going live with tomorrow?
We're all European tomorrow.
Who are you going live with tomorrow?
Testify. This is at 5. Testify. And Chris from Speaker's Corner and Jai and DOC. Jai, DOC, Chris are all in Europe, and therefore we've got to go live earlier. So that's what I'll be doing at 5 tomorrow. Be going through Dean response to the Islamic dilemma and seeing how powerful and based it is.
AP's anagrams, Myriad Invader, and toothpaste paper. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Very, very helpful. Thank you. Timothy, when in your Muslim journey, did you begin eating pork? And did you find it delicious, or did you consider it rather fake and gay? And blessing again, bros. Thank you very, very much. No, I didn't eat pork until after I left Islam. And even then, it was still... that was one of the weirdest things to adjust to. Many years after I left Islam, I still felt this little scared feeling when I would eat pork. It really it took a while to get over that. Bigly. Sean, much love from Jersey. God bless y'all. David Wood, you are the GOAT. Thank you. I am the GOAT indeed. Moshko, and by the way, to those wondering why I'm using Christians to convert Muslims, since Muslims is every aspect of their lives, when they find themselves rejecting the pedo, to those wondering why I'm Christianity to convert Muslims, since Islam is every aspect of their lives, when they find themselves rejecting the pedo, it is going to continue by Mosh. Edgar, the day at church, my son, 7, decided to get baptized, and he did. I just wanted to share the good news with y'all. Wonderful. Wonderful. Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. And Giovanni Garcia says, seeking Muhammad, finding stained robes. Completely lost. So when they find themselves rejecting the pedo, they completely lost, and that's not all my desire. When I'm introducing them to Yeshua, I'm giving them something similar yet very different to what? I'm going to read the final super chat that you make, Mosh, because you
will sit here patiently,
and I will wait for it forever, even if it comes only within like 2 hours. I will still wait here for your super chat.
We'll wait all night.
We'll wait all night here for your.
Let me watch. I won't even say anything. I'll just sit here.
Mosh is giggling to himself and just waiting to send the super chat. Urinating Broom says, I heard Al Hakim
say that in Islam, if you wear pants that go beyond the ankles, you'll suffer in hell. Whatever exceeds the ankle is in hellfire. LOL. I know. There's a hadith actually on that. It's pretty good. Nope. Mosh Cohen still didn't send his final super chat. He's
just take your time, Mosh Cohen.
We have all day here. We can wait all day here. We'll wait here all day.
He's like, I was about to send it, but then I had to run out and convert some Muslims to Christianity.
J.A. Deutsche Welle and Associated Press.
That's not Deutsche.
Russians sent first man, woman, and dog to space. I think they okay. Moon landing looks shady, at least to the video. It's not. It doesn't look shady at all, and it is completely
shady,
legitimate.
even slightly.
There's not a single aspect of it as shady. It would also be incredibly difficult to fake, incredibly so. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I'm going to read all of them together. By the way, to those wondering why I'm using Christianity to convert Muslims, since Islam is every aspect of their lives, when they find themselves rejecting the pedo, it's very, very rude, they completely lost, and that's not all my desire. When I'm introducing them to Yeshua, I'm giving them something similar yet very different to what they grew up on. We, Jews, aren't missionaries, so using Yeshua simply makes it a lot easier. From I will blow you up for Allah to I'll bless your soul.
Yeah, and notice, because there's something, there are similar atheists and so on in that, like Ayaan Hirsi Ali, even before she became a Christian, she used to say, guys, for some of these Muslims, you'll have a better chance of getting them out of Islam if it's Christians, because not all these guys are going to just jump on board the atheism bandwagon. But they do believe in Jesus, and they do believe in certain things that would line up with Christianity if you get them away from Muhammad. And so she was saying, hey, it would actually be better for atheists if we have like more Christians out there preaching to Muslims. And so, but yeah, something similar would follow if you're thinking, okay, we've got these guys and they want to slaughter us in the name of Allah, but these guys believe in Jesus at the end of the day, even though they have no clue what he's talking about. If I want to get them out of this, maybe Christianity is a way to go.
I approve of this mission, Mosh.
We approve of your mission, Mosh, and we hope that you are completely successful in converting every Muslim in that entire area, indeed in the entire Middle East, to Christianity.
When I'm back one day in Jerusalem, let's meet up.
I want to go to Israel just to hang out with Mosh Cohen.
Same.
Hey Mosh, can you get us into some cool places?
Yes.
Some cool areas.
My baby decided to drop my phone. Sorry, LOL. He said as we were waiting.
See, this is the proof that Allah cursed his phone.
Giovanni Garcia, BMO, get submitted by Demon in Cave, start new religion. Very, very base. This is how you do it, man.
Yeah, got choked out.
This is how you do it. All right, man. Anything else, David? I think it's time to go. Finally.
Nope. We're good.
Wonderful. Inshallah. Thanks, everybody, for watching and for joining and listening. We will be back again and again with more, and I have some good stuff coming up soon, inshallah. And David does too.
Super based. Stay well, everybody. And as always, you know what they say, which is goat for
stay away from Islam.